No problem. That's also required. So very good morning, guys. I hope that whosoever missed that test part, you have already covered that and you have written your answer. Wonderful. So did you bring your data book? Awesome. Please open it. So tomorrow I'm planning to take a small test early morning, first 10 minutes. What will be the test about? The test will be about some MCQs from trade, because I completed trade with you. So I want to take one small MCQ test early morning when we meet around 7:30 to 7:45 test and then normal class. So that we'll see. That will be a surprise. So that's one. Second, I'll give you a blank table where there will be two columns. One column I'll mention all the macroeconomic indicators like CPI, like WPI, etc. A table which I gave you in your data book, it's there. And the right side will be totally blank. You will have to fill it. So to my online students, don't worry, that blank sheet will be uploaded by today evening itself, along with MCQs, and then you can take a printout. And for you guys, I'll bring it tomorrow. So these are the two things that is there in my mind. So there is a model which I follow in the module. The model is, so I'll give an example. So for example, let's say that I am having some cold and flu, etc., throat issue. So what do? Every morning I take a tablet, every morning, for 5-6 days. After 5-6 days, everything will be fine. That's how it is supposed to be. You don't need to, okay, that's why, okay, I'll talk to you, because yes, you were missing from the scene. So you don't need to take the tablet every day. Till the time the problem is there, you take it and you are fine. The same tablet we are going to take in our economics module, and that is what we do. So whenever I feel that there is something which is almost guaranteed to come in the exam, but it is memory based. There are a few things which are absolutely memory based. Concepts are there. Concepts we'll do in the class. But whenever something is related to memory, which you have to practice multiple times. So now what we will do is, we have completed decent number of lectures now. So we will start to devote the morning time. First 10 minutes, 15 minutes, morning, 5 minutes, in doing those things almost every day, till the time I feel that you have memorized those things. Example, that table. So tomorrow there will be that table that we'll have to do. So tomorrow also we'll have that table, day after tomorrow we'll have that table, so that it gets inside the head in the class. What did I tell you? That you don't have to study too much after the class, which means the class time has to be utilized in these ways. So that's number one. Number two, now random tests are going to happen. This I take, last year also I did the same thing. So you will come in the morning and you will have a question paper of MCQs and one mains question. So other than the dedicated days that I have fixed for the test, there will be random tests during the lectures also. So this will make us comfortable in answer writing, and every day you will get one or two new tips related to answer writing. So these things will start, you have to be ready. What am I trying to tell you? That be ready with whatever I have taught you. So keep in touch, half an hour every day before your bedtime. Just glance through what we have studied. So these are the two things. Third, so today also I'll give you a list of things to be memorized. So I'll dictate that. You will have to write it in your diary, the data book, and then I'll give you some concepts. And then for next 5-6 days, I'll ask you this every day. Every day in the morning, 5-10 minutes, revision. So that by the time I teach you the bigger concept, all those factual things are there in the head. It becomes super easy to understand the subject. That's the model. You will take time to understand this model. Don't worry. You will take 4-5 days. But then you will be absolutely comfortable. There are various ways of learning the same subject. This is a different way of learning. It helps to crack exams. There is another way of learning which helps us to build only concepts, but only concepts have never helped anybody to clear the exam. Exam is a different ball game. So knowledge plus exam-oriented preparation, these two things help us to crack the exam. So that is why slight change in the ideas. So as I told you yesterday that we'll be having a discussion on employment first. So guys, let me show you how we are going to deal with employment. So very good morning to you. You missed the lectures. That's what I was wondering. So you were traveling, so you did not attend. I hope that because you are one of the very active participants in the class, I hope that you watch all the videos that you have missed. So guys, in your data book, please give the entry employment. New page, employment. New page and employment. Yes. Employment. I posted one page related to the formulas. So today today I won't test it. Today I'll give you some basic understanding. It will take little time, half an hour. And then from tomorrow I'll start to test. Every morning, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll test those things. I'll make you write it. I follow the same method in inflation. I follow the same method in GDP, National Income Accounting. Same method. First 10 minutes, previous day test. Later on, we become very comfortable with all those things. So that is the idea. So that will start from today itself. So guys, see basic order. Don't write anything. I'll tell you what to write. There are two important words. First, let me tell you what is a negative way of learning and what's a positive way. The negative way is there are many books where you will see the name of the topic will be unemployment. Obviously, entire focus is negative, unemployment. So our focus will be employment. Right? Unemployment will be opposite of employment. So what is the meaning of employment? That's the first thing. Now, I was checking your answer sheets and I realized a few things. Some keywords are missing. You are writing the answer well. The theory part is there, everything, the knowledge is also there. Keywords are not there. So for example, you could have used a nice keyword. Instead of that, you are using, let's say, a normal literature. No problem. But it will create a difference of 1 or 2 marks in your final answer. And these things have to be learned in the class itself. So we'll learn it in the class, no worries. So from today, I'll also keep on telling you what are the keywords that examiner will hunt for. They will definitely look for these keywords. So whenever I tell you a keyword, I don't know if you got your highlighters today, but from tomorrow, bring your highlighters, please, and keep highlighting the keywords. Select a color, whatever color you want, and then keep highlighting. So whenever that color comes, you should understand it's a keyword. So let's see what is keyword here. See, the two words here are employment and unemployment. What is the meaning of employment? Look here, guys. What is the meaning of employment? Employment means, very good morning. Employment means engagement in an economic activity. So the keyword here is economic activity. So if UPSC will tell you define employment, because they are asking as basic questions as this, like they are asking, what do you mean by infrastructure? These kind of things they are asking. They are also asking absolute basics as the first part. So they might ask you, define employment. Then they will tell you, define the types of employment. Then they will select a type and tell you that discuss the details related to it. So what is employment? Employment is engagement in economic activity. So what will you write in your diary? The way to write it is this. So what you have to do is you have to write engagement, economic activity, done. So whenever you revise it, you will understand engagement in economic. But what is economic activity? Economic activity is any activity which adds, don't write away, I'll give you time to write. Economic activity is any activity which adds value to the economy. For example, you are working in a manufacturing company which manufactures the pen. You are a part of that company. You are adding value, because you are creating a product. Similarly, you are part of Infosys. You are creating a product called as services. Services are not tangible. You can't touch and feel. But service is also a product. Product in a different sense. Service is not commodity, but a product. Product means you can buy and sell that. You can, argue that, okay, I have a great product, but the name of the product is software. So whenever you work in a manufacturing company, things are tangible. You can touch and feel. If you are a part of the factory, you are adding value. If you are a part of service industry, you are adding value. If you are a part of the trading community, also you are adding value. Why? Because you are buying sugar from somebody else, you are packaging it nicely. The moment you package and keep it properly, its life increases. You are also adding value. Similarly, if you are manufacturing things, let's say you are giving consultancy services. Right? You are a tourist guide. You are also adding value. Why? Because you are helping people to get aware of the environment, about new things, culture. And for that you are paid. So whenever you do manufacturing, you do services, or you do research and development kind of thing. So for example, you are a scientist and you are doing research and development. But the whole process of research and development, whether the final thing is created or not, the whole process is adding value to the society, to the economy. So manufacturing, services, trading, as well as research and development, all these soft skills, all these things are called as value addition in the economy. Everybody who is engaged in these things is called as economic activity. Now, for example, let's say that I'm standing on a railway platform, and whenever somebody passes by me, I tell them that, help me, give me 10 rupees, 20 rupees. So people will tell me, are you begging? I'll say, no, I'm not begging, I'm just asking for cash. So suppose somebody gives me cash without asking a question, or even if they ask, what are you doing? I'll say, I'm just asking for cash randomly, without any reason. Am I doing economic activity? No. I'm being paid, but I'm not adding any value. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But I'm standing on the same railway platform, and if somebody crosses and passes by me, I tell them that, hey, don't go there because that platform is damaged. Take a different route. Now I added value. Why? Because I have prevented somebody from wasting time, accidents, and that time that they saved, they could use for productive purposes, which means I gave consultancy. So this is also value addition. Earlier, if you read old books, so research and development was not very prominent in the economy, etc., intellectual property rights. So people didn't used to call it as value. They used to say, unless I see the product, it is not value. Unless I see services, software, it's not a value. No, but these days, even consultancy is also value addition. Anything which helps you to save time, become more productive, contribute in the nation building, that's value. So what is the meaning of economic activity? Anything that adds value to the economy or society. Now there is a new word. So if you read very old textbooks, it's almost like 30 years back, so very conventional textbooks, they will tell you the conventional economics, subject changes with time. So they will tell you that anything which adds value to the economy is called as economic activity. But there is a slight change. Anything which adds value to the economic activity, anything that adds value to economy or society is called as economic activity. So what is this definition? Engagement in economic activity, which means adds value to economy and society. Based on this concept only, there is a taxation system called as value-added tax, right? VAT. Hence, VAT is imposed on both goods and services. A refined form of VAT. Why is VAT imposed on both goods and services? Because we say that whenever, no, don't write, I'll tell you what to write. I mean, just try to understand. So based on this concept that value addition can happen in goods, value addition can happen in services. So those people who designed the taxation system said whenever there is value addition in goods, whenever there is value addition in services, which means you create a pen out of plastic, value addition. Plastic became pen, value addition. Similarly, collect all the engineers, their knowledge becomes software, value addition. So whenever there is value addition, whenever there are new features created, they will put a tax over it and they will collect money. GST is different. GST doesn't consider value addition. GST says, I don't care for value addition. I care for only one thing. I care for the fact whether you are adding value or not, I don't know. So I'll give an example. So suppose I have this pen. You will understand this very well if you look at the example. So I have this pen. I'm the producer of the pen. I sell the pen to you. Right. So I have added value. I have created something. Now you sell the pen to somebody else. That somebody else sells the pens to somebody else. No value addition. Nothing happening. But GST will be imposed at every stage. Why? Because it's goods and services tax. The word value is not written in the tax, but VAT is a value-added tax. So whenever somebody adds any value, then on that value you put a tax. So for example, I create the pen, I give it to you. Now suppose you add one more feature to the pen, or you change the color of the pen, value addition. So that money that you spend to change the color, uske upar there will be a tax. That's value-added tax. And what is GST? At a very basic level, So for GST says that, for example, I have a pen. Listen to it very carefully, and then you will for the first time understand, acha, this is GST. So for example, I have manufactured a pen. Guys, first focus. Later on discussion. First understand. So for example, this is a pen. Did you see how we studied trade? You gave me the liberty to teach trade the way I wanted. Almost every single concept from mini trade deal to high funda, everything done. So you give me the same liberty and you will understand everything. So for example, you have this pen. I manufactured the pen. 10 rupees, I'm selling the pen to you. Selling the pen. Of course, GST will be taken. VAT will also be taken. But see what you do. You take the pen. You don't sell it. You just give it to somebody. VAT will not be taken, but GST will be applicable. Because GST says, the moment you supply a commodity to somebody, it becomes taxable. VAT says, no, value addition. Unless you add value, unless you collect the money, we won't put VAT. I'll give an example. Can you come here, please? Please come. I'll show you what the VAT and GST is, because the definition comes from here. That's the beauty of economics. So one word gives you an entire universe. Please come. Say hello to your friends. So now see, there is a pen. I'll tell you what is GST and VAT. You hold this, please. I'm holding a pen. I'm the manufacturer. See what will happen now. What is VAT and GST? How is linked to this? I'm holding the pen. I'm selling the pen to you. You give me cash, 10 rupees. 10 rupees. You show the pen in the camera, and that's the cash. So I have taken cash from your friend, and he has taken the pen from me. Now you know which tax will be applicable. Both GST and VAT. Anything can be applicable. Why? Because I have sold the commodity and I have collected cash. So VAT is applicable, GST is also applicable. Let me show you another transaction where VAT will be applicable But VAT will not be applicable, but GST will be applicable. Take the cash, please. Pen, I am giving the pen to him. That's it. He doesn't make the payment. He doesn't make the payment to me. Since he doesn't make the payment to me, now only GST is applicable, because GST says, I don't care whether the payment has been made or not. Government of India says, I don't care about it. I just want to know whether the pen has been given or not. Since the pen has been supplied, GST will be applicable. Now Government of India will come to me and tell me, beta, you might have collected the payment. I say, I have not collected the payment. Government says, I don't care, because this is GST. The only basis of GST is the word supply. Are you seeing the difference? So for example, again, let's do it again. Please show the cash to your friends. Now see this, huh? So now you take the pen. See guys, take the pen. Give me cash, please. So now Government of India will say, pen and cash. Government of India will come here and say, you collected the cash, give VAT. Or GST, whatever is applicable. Both can be collected. Because cash has been exchanged, goods has been exchanged. Both GST and VAT can be applicable. But suppose, see, I am giving pen, no cash. He said, I won't give you cash. You are MSME, I'll give you cash later on. Later on, MSME. Remember I taught you that. So which means that cash will be given later on to me, because he's not giving payment to me immediately. Government of India will come to me and say, I don't know what you are doing. Just give that GST amount which you are supposed to collect from him. Because according to Government of India, supply has been made. Very dangerous. Now you understand why government had to come here, intervene and say that, oh, he's not making payment and I'm forcing this guy to give the GST collection to the Government of India. So Government of India had to bring in new systems where the Government of India is saying that if there is a delay of 45 days, etc., punishment. Why? Because what used to happen, I used to give the pen to you and he never used to give the cash to me. And government used to come to me and tell me, give the cash, give the GST. Are you understanding the subtle difference? That's the beauty of these economics concepts. So VAT is applicable only when the payment has been made. But GST is applicable when the supply has been done with or without payment. That's very interesting. If you read textbooks, you will hardly find this kind of concept. That's practical life. So Government of India says, whenever there is economic activity, thank you so much. I'll keep troubling you guys, because these kind of topics requires, I wish I could pull you out of camera also sometimes, so as to take your help also. So guys, try to understand this thing. I just gave you a small flavor. This is the way these kind of topics have to be understood every now and then. I'll do this more with you, don't worry. So what is employment? I mean, just give me time to teach you the basics. Employment means engagement in economic activity. And what are the economic activities? Not to be precise, what are the economic activities? You understood the difference between value addition and supply. So Government of India says economic activities of three types, to be precise. Isliye we don't write. First economic activity, manufacturing. Second economic activity, services. Two things. Third economic activity is research and development, or anything which promotes technology, soft skill or research, because there you are doing something new. You are adding some new skills or value to the society. So research and development, consultancy, etc. Hold on for some time. Research and development, consultancy, all these things, that is also included as value addition. These are three things. Just like, I'll teach you one more thing today. Earlier, till last year, when I used to give the definition of infrastructure, infrastructure used to be physical infrastructure. But for the first time today, you will see that the definition will completely change. When I give you the new definition, you will see infrastructure would also mean digital infrastructure. For the first time, officially accepted by Government of India. So all the reports of Government of India are being changed now. Earlier, we used to study roads as infrastructure, and then we used to say, yeah, other things like UPI are digital India. But now we are not saying that. We are saying, no, digital India is not different. Digital India is also infrastructure now. That's interesting. How can you include everything digital as infrastructure? Things have changed, times have changed. So it's evolving subject. So today we'll see very, very new things which we might not even fathom that, it is also possible. So what is the meaning of employment, guys? Focus now. Employment means engagement in economic activity. What are the economic activities we are going to write? Economic activities would mean manufacturing, services, technology related activities. These three things. So anything, guys, focus here. What are economic activities? Economic activities are those activities in the nature of manufacturing, services and technology. Only three things which adds value to economy or society. This is the new addition in economic activity. So what is economic activity? I repeat, economic activities are activities related to manufacturing, services, technology, which adds value to economy or society. That's economic. That's the precise definition. Everything else out. Now, there you see a word called as unemployment. So if you are engaged in these things, you are called as employed. Very vague definition. If you are engaged in these things, you are called employed. Now, but we need a proper definition so that whenever we have to do a survey in India or abroad and see that how many people are working, how many people are not working, this vague definition might not give an idea. Because I gave you a gray area called as trading. I told you that suppose that I have a pen in my hand. I am simply selling the pen. Am I adding value to the pen? No, I'm not. I'm just changing the color of the pen. Really, is it value addition? Right? That's the question. Gray areas. So we really can't use these definitions. Because suppose that I have a grocery store. I bought the pen from factory. I'm selling it to you. I'm doing economic activity because I'm getting cash. What value addition did I do? Nothing. Similarly, I take the pen, put one color mark here. So one blue color put. And then I'm telling you, hey, value addition. What value addition? For what? What am I contributing in economic and society? So that's why when it comes to quantitative measure of employment, that definition doesn't hold. For qualitative things, definition is okay. But for quantitative measurement that, okay, are you employed? We need something else, which also includes people like grocery store owners, etc. Because they are not adding necessarily, they are not adding value. I'm buying a packet of sugar from a factory and selling it to you. That's trading. Which value did I add? What contribution have I made to the society in terms of something new? I didn't do anything new. But then, of course, I am facilitating your life, making your life easy. Hence, I'm doing something, but it doesn't look as if I'm doing something. So to capture these borderline cases, etc., also in employment, we need a better definition. What is a better definition? We don't write anything. What's a better definition? See, so there is a word called unemployment. Let us see what is unemployment first. That will give us an idea of employment. Now, I have a jugaad, right? So this jugaad is, and I have used this in quite a lot of places in academic writing, etc., and it has been well accepted. So if you read conventional definitions, they are slightly different. This definition is also a little different, but it gels very well with the international definition. So I have created this definition for my own sake, which I use in academic writing and other articles and research papers that I write. And this goes very well with whatever exists in the world today. It's not different, but yes, it is slightly unique. Now, what is this? What is the meaning of unemployment? Look at this. If you are capable, capable means physically, emotionally, mentally, you are capable. So both physically and emotionally. But you should not be, thinking about somebody and, I will not work because that person has not called me. Then you are not available. You are not fully available. You are not fully capable because you are emotionally drained. So whenever you are capable would mean that physically and emotionally capable, number one. Number two, you are willing. Willing means, I want to work. I want to work in the field of manufacturing or services, etc., right? Or research and development. So capable, willing, CW. And you are searching for job, which means you should be looking for job. You shouldn't sit at home and say that, I'm capable and willing, but I won't search. Job should come to me. No, you should be searching. That's important in economics. So capable, willing, and searching, CWS. If these three things are satisfied, and then you don't get a job, minus job, then you are called as unemployed. So if somebody will ask you what is unemployed, look at the formula. This formula you have to use in the exam, and that's a perfectly technical formula. So what's the meaning of unemployment? From here I'll show you employment also. What is the meaning of unemployment? The meaning of unemployment is CWS minus J. What is CWS? You are capable. You can do a particular job. Number two, you are willing to do it. W. And S, you are searching for it. So CWS. All the three things satisfied, but you are not getting a job. Minus job, you are unemployed. You are unemployed. CWS minus J, that is unemployment. What will be employment? Employment will be capable, willing, searching, and you got a job. So what will be the meaning of here? So this vague definition, not a good definition for economics to measure employment. This is just for the sake of idea. So you don't overspend time here. You don't have to do a PhD on this. Who does PhD on these kind of topics? People like Dr. Amartya Sen. They will pick this word and spend rest 40 years of their life in finding out what is value addition. आपको करना है. Don't even think. So that's why learn what the academic writing is saying. Like people who are Nobel laureates, they would say something like this. They'll keep on changing this. And then those people who measure things quantitatively, like governments, they want quantitative numbers. They want numbers that tell me how to measure employment, how to measure unemployment. So you will have to do this C, W, S plus J. That's our job for competitive exams. So see the difference between people who crack the exam and who don't crack the exam. Who don't end up cracking the exam get stuck here. They are never able to move from here to here. But finished. Career finished. And those who have to crack the exam, they will know this also, they will know this also. If you only know this, not a chance that you will be able to crack it. If you know this and this, 100% chance. If they ask you value judgment based question, you will write the answer. If they ask you quantitative questions, you will write the answer. This is how you get marks in the exam. So these two things have to be known to you, but your focus should be here. Ab dekho magic, we'll play with this. We'll start to play with this. Now amazing thing, look at the board again. I ask you another question to my online and offline students. See how beautiful this will be. So can you please tell me what is employment? How do you measure employment? 4 things. First is C, which means I should be capable. Which capability? Physical and emotional. Number 2, willing to work. Willing to work. Complete it. Willing to work. W, as for searching. I have to look for job. Because later on when I complete this topic with you, one day I will tell you, beta, there is a concept called as search theory. So that also I'll teach you in the class. At that time you have to recall that CWS ka search theory. Sometimes it take a lot of time to search the job. Searching the job sometimes takes time. In that time, you are not able to get the job. Then it is called as frictional unemployment. So when search time is more, it is a very unique kind of unemployment. So every word here gives you a type of unemployment. That's why please pay attention to it. It's a beautiful topic. So what is C? C for capability, W for willingness, S for search. So CWS, when CWS is satisfied and you get a job, you are called as employed. When CWS is there, but you don't get a job, you are called as unemployed. But hold on, please. Let me show you something more. Then we'll come back to it. I have drawn like so many things for you, full of data, full of facts, full of dictations. This is a very unique kind of topic. It's very technical in nature and it's value judgment based also. But the way to learn this topic is different. It's all current affairs. So I've taken a lot of newspaper clips, etc. to teach. For example, see this. PIB, look at the date, 29 July 2024. Everything is almost newly done. I told you that this year it will be almost 30% different. So these are the new concepts which I'm going to teach this year because I feel it's important. Yes, this concept I have never taught in the past because India never suffered majorly from this problem. But now the government is discussing this little more. For example, see, labor force participation, youth participation, these graphs. These are new things that you have to do based on what government of India is planning for next 5 years. This all I gathered from last 2-3 months of research. And okay, these are the things which are important. So come back here, please. Look at this. This is how I cracked it. That if somebody will ask you, beta, what's employed? Guys, to my online students, see here, if somebody will ask you what is employed, see how you will rock the exam. You will say, acha, employed, job market, employed. Employed would mean CWS. So capable, willing, search plus gets the job done. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? You are new. You said that you have just started economics. Is it fine for you? You will be a champion, don't worry. So CWS, capable, willing, searching, and you get the job. That's employed. Now what is this? That's interesting. Now see, capable, yes. Willing to work, yes. Searching, yes. Doesn't get a job. So I want to work. I'm searching also. I'm looking for it. But I'm not getting a job. So am I voluntarily leaving? Or am I feeling that, no, I want to work, but under compulsion I'm not getting a job. Nobody is giving me job. So is it voluntary or involuntary? Involuntary. Because not getting a job is not my choice. I actually want to work, but I'm not getting the job. Hence it's involuntary unemployment. Which means unemployment is being forced on my head. I don't have a choice because jobs are not available or something. So capable, yes. Willing, yes. Searching, yes, but not getting job. Involuntary unemployment. What is voluntary unemployment? Voluntary means that willingly, I don't want to work. So how will you define voluntary unemployment? CWS principle. Capable, yes. Capable, yes. But it says voluntary. Means it's my choice not to work. So capable, yes. Willing, no. Because I have to do a PhD. I have to prepare for UPSC. Capable, yes. But I don't want to work. Willingness not there. I'm not even searching. If I'm not willing to work, why will I search? So capability, yes. Not willing, not searching. Hence, jobs, no. I don't want the job. So look at the principle, look at the formula that we have just found out. The formula is CWS and end with J. Obviously, you will not have job, but is it forced on you? No, it's a choice. So those people who are doing their higher studies, those who are upgrading their skills, and those people who are, remember there are many Government of India's program where for 2-3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 months, you can upgrade your skill. So in that time, you will voluntarily say, "ठीक है, for 3 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, 10 days, I don't want to work." You want to prepare for competitive exam, you will say, "It's okay. For some time, I don't want to work." So which means you are not typically unemployed. You are unemployed by choice. That, okay, this is my choice because I have something else to do. So this is not out of choice. So whenever newspaper writes unemployment in India, which unemployment do they refer to? Out of choice or compulsion? Compulsion. They talk about this one. So by default, unemployment is this. And whenever somebody has to talk about this, they have to specifically mention that this is voluntary unemployment. You can't write unemployment and it will be taken like this. No. The moment you write UE, unemployment, then this one is not taken to be conventional unemployment. This is your unemployment. And if somebody has to talk about this, I have to add the letter V. And I have to specify that I am talking about voluntary unemployment. So by default, what is unemployment? Involuntary. By default. Which principle? CWS and J. Now let's look at this. What is this outside job? What is the meaning of outside job? Outside job would mean that, for example, Divyangs. Number 2, if you are over 60 years, according to the current definition of Government of India. So this is what we are taking in the population census. So it doesn't mean that after 60 you are not capable of working. 100% you are capable of. In fact, you can be more stronger than a young guy also. Go talk to army people and you'll see their background and you'll see, wow, 61-year-old armed force officials, etc. Their body strength is almost equivalent to a 30-year-old guy. But the problem is not this. The problem is government has set a benchmark and government is saying on an average, if you are 60 plus, then there are many things that you should not be doing or many things that you can't actually do. You can't run very fast like a 16, 20-year-old kid. So in that sense, so it doesn't mean like physical incapability. It means incapability of a different type. It means that according to set standards, you might not fulfill those standards of strength and stamina. So that's why above 60 and children less than 15 years. Children less than 15 years. Rajanabi, hold on. I told you that these kind of chapters take time to build. For example, it might take us 2-3 lectures, 4 lectures to build these kind of concepts. So it will take time, hold on, because there are so many things involved. Fine things are there. So, but by 3-4 lectures or 2-3 lectures, we should be able to understand. This is just the beginning. Just you'll get used to it. So I'll answer the question, but only after doing all this. So what is this? This is the bank. This is elders, and this is your children below 15 years. These 3 fit here. There are many more, but we'll do it later on. But these 3 would fit here. Why? Because they are outside the job market. Which means that if you are less than 15, let's say I'm 13 or 12, I'm in the school, I'm not even counted in the job market. Why will I be counted? Because the job market says that you have to be between 15 and 59. 15 and 59, not 60. 15 and 59 years. That's job market. That's the definition of job market in India. And that is also called as working age population. So the working age population of India, this is the definition. You can't change it. Ab aap bologe, but why not 59.5? Because Government of India wants 59 only as per international standards. Don't get into all that. So 15 to 59 is the set standard called as working age population. I told you, even a 65-year-old person can work. But then the government says, in general, it's little difficult. So this Divyang, greater than 60, less than 15, because this is your working age. If you are below 15, above 59, right, the moment you hit 60 and then you cross it, then Government of India says that you will be outside the job market. And whatever jobs you get, that will not be considered to be a conventional job. Exceptions might be there, but here government doesn't go with exception. So that's your outside job market. Let's use the CWS principle. According to CWS principle, what is outside job market? Outside job market means capability is questionable. Which means government says, according to the government of India's definition, full capability is not there. So capability cross. Willingness, government of India says, since you are not capable, government of India says that in the conventional sense, willingness is not there. Because the moment willingness is there, then you will come here. Then you will come directly here. So government of India says willingness is not there because conventionally you are not as active as normally people are. So that willingness is not there and you are not searching, because the moment willingness and searching will be there, फिर you will shift here. There will be nothing called outside job, then everybody will fit here. So willingness no, searching no, capability no. When you cross these kind of three things, CWS gone, of course, jobs not there. So if I have to write this in the data book, how will I write? I'll write it like this. Don't write, but I'll tell you the jugaad to write so that your UPSC exam becomes smooth. You write job market here, you write employed, involuntary, voluntary and outside. Exactly like this, and then see how to write this. This capability, willingness plus searching, yes, job, yes. Done? Simple. What is involuntary? Involuntary would mean that I want to work, but I'm not getting the job. So, capability yes, willingness yes, searching yes, job not there. Involuntary. Voluntary, capability yes, willingness no. Because I don't want to work. I want to do a PhD. I want to prepare for UPSC. Searching, no, I'm not searching for it. Hence, no jobs. And what is this outside the job market? This is the conventional definition. Capability no, willingness no, searching no, hence no jobs. Everything cross. That's what you take outside. I'll tell you the borderline cases and exceptions later on as we grow in the chapter. It takes time, but let's grow slowly over the chapter. You would have realized by now that this is a very different kind of topic where even a word can make a hell lot of difference. Words can make the whole difference to the entire theory. So we have to be very careful from initial to the final stage. All fine so far? Look at new words that are mentioned here. Ye dekhiye. Structural, technological and frictional. What is the meaning of yeah? Handicapped, physical handicapped, incapability, physical incapability is called Divyang, which are also called as especially abled. But these days we use the word Divyangs for them because handicap is a word which should not be restricted to physical, incapability. But sometimes also we don't feel like working. So Government of India says that why use the word handicapped? Because people who have one thing which is not good for them, they have 50 other things in which they are very good. So that's why we call them as Divyangs now. So it's a more respectable word. So, and by the way, there is a similar word which is Bimaru states. So Planning Commission used to call some of the states of India as Bimaru states, 6 states. That was a very derogatory word. So those states objected and they said that you are calling me sick, but I am full of natural resources. I might be sick in one thing. My economic indicators might not be great, but my natural resources are superb. So in that sense, I am not Bimaru state. So Government of India changed it. And what is the new word? No. That's a program. But this is that word. EAG. This word replaced Bimaru. What is EAG? Empowered Action Group. Brilliant. So that Bimaru state, no. Aspirational district program is different. Under aspirational, you have more than 100 districts, but Bimaru are different. So, Bimaru mein Government of India had never, you understand what is Bimaru. Like some states selected, I don't want to get into it, that's not a good thing. So what has government done? Government has said that now there will be nothing called as 6 states. 6 states means they are not doing well in economics and social parameters. So now government is saying you are empowered action group, which means that yes, you have some other capability and we will make you empowered. Action group means Government of India is going to take some actions to make you stronger. So this is Empowered Action Group plus Assam. Assam has been included separately, so it is EAGA, Empowered Action Group plus Assam, because Assam does not fit typically in a Bimaru state category. So Government of India said that since there is no concept of Bimaru state now, these are the states where government says, I have a special focus, I want to make you empowered. So it is called Empowered Action Group. Similarly, physical handicapped word is not used these days. These days, what are we using? We are using the word Divyangs.
are animals included
No, not directly in this definition, because these are the definitions we have created according to ILO standards, International Labour Organization. We only talk about human labor in that.
What about my house? Like how
That will come towards the end of entire session of employment and unemployment, where I talk about care economy and housewives. Why are you interested in housewives? Right? Planning to get married? Right? Cool. Focus on UPSC. It's very innocent kid. All right. So there are many things that you will see towards the end. But let me go at this with your friend is also laughing. Rather is saying good question. So
we were taught that economic activity is one involving any transaction in return of any factor of production.
ना भूल जाओ सब अब बड़े हो गए.
Agriculture is included in economic.
Of course, yes.
But all those three standards,
No, but this is employment. For different things, different. For example, the definition of vulnerable section for a particular act is different, for another act is different. Every act is a contract. So whenever you define a government program, whenever you define a context, according to that context, you have to give the definition of the word. So if you look at various programs, I'll give an example. So for example, Jal Jeevan Mission. What is the meaning of vulnerable group? Rural area. For MSME credit linked subsidy scheme, what is the list of vulnerable sections of the society who are owning MSMEs? Women, SCs, STs, Northeast and hilly area. But show me the constitution where it is written that Northeast is vulnerable group. It's not written. So that's it. So which means that for different programs, the definitions are different.
next one, lack of skill doesn't count in capability.
Abhi to I have not taught skill, so will not jump. Okay, cool. So if one of a friend is asking, no, of course not. If you sell pen, how can you be called as value addition? Because you're simply selling the pen.
Yes.
No, I will not. Don't do this. Because I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. There are many interesting things that we can discuss to make it a circus. But then UPSC will be compromised. Because I precisely know what you have to do for UPSC. So I can tell you, I know I asked a very funny question, true. Even I want to get into there, but I won't. So I'll go into those set standards which I have in mind. All these funny things we'll do towards the end. Just for fun, to laugh and have a good laugh with you. We'll do it, but not now. Like, don't bring housewives in the class. Don't bring circus in the class. Don't bring those funny things because this topic is serious. So, okay, one rule. All the question towards the end. Same rule I follow in all the classes. Current affairs, GS, everywhere. With you also same rule. Chalo now focus. Because first, what is important is important. And I know that this will help you to crack this. I'm all doubt towards the end. Everyday rule. Chalo, come back now. So guys, see, what is this? What you have to do? Fatapat, now I want to ask you a question. Please answer the question. So I will ask you questions. You have to answer and tell me the rules. So let's start with you. Yes. So because he has been one of the very focused kid of the class, he's very focused. He doesn't smile much. He doesn't look sad at all. He's all the time very stable and very good guy. So I want to ask you a question. So can you please tell me what is the meaning of involuntary unemployment? And to my online students, please write the formula. I want to see involuntary unemployment. What is involuntary? Choice or forced? Involuntary. Forced. Brilliant. So C, capability. Yes. Willingness. Involuntary. Willingness. Guys, let him answer the question. Capability. Am I capable to work? Yes. Am I willing to work? Involuntary. I am forced not to work. Willing to work? Yes. So, and I am searching for job? Yes. But am I getting the job? No. So capable, yes. Willing, yes. Searching, yes. Didn't get the job. Which means that is involuntary. These are the things we have to do for UPSC. It's okay later on. But if you don't know this and you know everything else in the world, UPSC compromised. But we are here for UPSC. How can we compromise UPSC? So you have to hit the nail. This is the habit which you have to develop in the class. Always UPSC, always UPSC. You have to breathe, you have to think, you have to live that. Otherwise, it will become next to impossible to crack the exam because there are so many borderline cases. I told you one borderline case, trading. You take a pen and you sell to somebody and then you start to argue, hey, can economic activity? Is it economic activity or not? Why? What is the need? We can do it later on as a borderline case. But first, the main thing, CWS. Next question to you. Can you please tell me what is voluntary unemployment? C, capability, yes or no? Voluntary? Capability is there. Willingness? No. Search? No. And you are absolutely correct. And then you used to tell me that you are not doing economics. See, you know everything. So, capability, yes. Willingness, no. Searching, no. So, will I do a job? No. Out of choice or out of compulsion? Out of choice. I don't want to work. PhD, I don't want to work. Right. UPSC, don't want to work. Right. So, yes, voluntary unemployment. Okay, now can you please tell me what is unemployment? Yes. I'll come to you. I have a bigger question for you. Why were you absent? That's the question. Right? Pawan, good answer. Tell me. Capable, willing, searching, but not getting a job. Who am I? What type of unemployment? Both. Involuntary. Okay, now can you please tell me, guys? Involuntary. Your friend is also helping you. Involuntary. What is outside the job market? Can you please tell me? बताइए. Yes. Less than 15. Correct. And absolutely, in any sense. Now, how do you define outside the job market? Absolutely, Rajan, this is correct. Very good. BD, absolutely perfect. Manas, perfect. Now, can you please tell me in terms of CWS, what is the meaning of outside the job market? CWS, Sucheta, perfect. CWS, not capable, not willing, not searching. Today we are not doing borderline cases. We are doing the broader things. This is how you find out the answer. One more question to you. Now have a look at this, please. And this nobody will answer. Only that person will answer whom I am going to ask the question. So there is something called as technological change in the economy. Technological change. So for example, let's say artificial intelligence has replaced the labor force. Artificial intelligence replacing labor force. What type? So I used to work in a, let's say in a hospital. Now there is a robot. Robot has come and replaced me. I am a doctor. Gone, finished. So now can you please tell me if I'll be employed or unemployed? If artificial intelligence, you will answer. If artificial intelligence has replaced me, so will I be working or I'll be sitting at home normally? I have been replaced by a robot. I'll sit at home. So will you call me employed or unemployed? Unemployed, brilliant, unemployed. So can you fit me in the CWS category? Capable, am I capable? Capable, 100% yes. Am I willing?
Yes.
Am I searching?
Yes.
Will I get a job?
No.
Finished. Why am I finished? Because robot has replaced me. Capable, yes. Willing, yes. Searching, yes. No jobs. Because a robot has replaced me. So let's see. Involuntary unemployment. So wherever technology replaces you, for example, you are good, but a better technology comes and says, please leave. So capability, yes. Capability, yes. Willingness, yes. Searching, yes. No jobs. Absolutely correct. So that's one example. Second, now imagine guys, what has happened in the economy is that every company in India, they are saying that I need people. You knew it, what I will ask. Very good. Every company in India is saying that I will hire only that person who is very good in cyber security. Like cyber security. I don't know what is cyber security. So what will happen to me? Out. Because the minimum eligibility condition is one should know what is cyber security. So as to keep the system secure. I'm operating a laptop or a system in an office. I need to keep it secure, but I have no idea. I'll be out. I'll be thrown out of the job and they will tell me, sorry, no scope for you. This type of unemployment we have to categorize in terms of CWS. Who will answer? You will answer because you are absent. CWS. So I have been replaced because my skill is not up to the mark. To my online students, please mention. See, capability. According to me, is the skill there or not? According to me, the skill is there because I felt that I'm highly capable. In my world, I am Amitabh Bachchan. In my world, I am Amitabh Bachchan. That the company is saying. But the person is saying I'm capable. It doesn't mean I'm incapable person. I just don't know cyber security. That's it. But I know everything else in life. So I have the skill. Yeah, but your expectations I'm not able to match. Which means there is a mismatch of expectation. That doesn't mean that I have no skill. I have skill. I have capability. Yeah, it's not up to the mark. But you can't say that there is no capability. Hai na? So now let's restart. So can you please tell me, if I don't know cyber security and I know everything else in the world, is my capability there or there is no capability? Capability wise, yes, capability is there. Because I know everything else. I can drive a truck, capability is there. I can type on a laptop, capability is there. I know economics, capability is there. I know finance, capability is there. I know how to trade in futures and options, capability is there. By the way, Manas, how was your dentist experience? All good? No experience. So I thought that I'll ask you towards the end of the. Where is iPad today? iPad, where are you? Because you are also not well. Okay, iPad is not there today. So capability. So guys, see, I know how to drive a truck. I know how to fly planes. I know how to fly a helicopter also. But I just don't know one thing: cyber security. Am I capable? Yeah, 100% in my own world. But according to you, I lack something. But doesn't mean I'm not capable. So yes, I am capable. Am I willing to work? Yes. I'm willing to work. Am I searching for a job? Yes. But nobody will give me a job now. Because now everybody is saying, hey, you don't know cyber security. You are good, but you're not very good. So capable, yes. Willing, yes. Searching, yes. Not getting the job. That's your structural unemployment. So what is the meaning of structural unemployment? The structure of the economy has changed, which means earlier people were looking for somebody with basic skill. Basic skill used to be called as capability. Now people look for higher level skill. It doesn't mean that you need to know everything, but you need to know those things which the company wants from you. Some specific skills. My company wants that I should know how to use a laptop. Other than laptop, I know everything. Everything under the sun. I just don't know how to use laptop. So according to me, I'm skilled. According to me, I'm capable. Just that my capability is not a very high standard. So this is called as structural unemployment. I'll give another example. I'm a farmer. Do you think farmers are not capable? They can grow crops. They can do anything they feel like. Right? Farmers are like almost they know everything related to nature. Very few people know it. But when a farmer goes to Infosys office, Infosys says, boss, you are capable, but your talent doesn't match our requirement. Infosys never says you are not capable. Infosys says the skill that we are looking for is not there in you. Which means that when it comes to structural employment, yes, capability, CWS is there, but jobs are not there. Why? Because this CWC, capability, is less than expected. Which means there is a skill gap, skill mismatch. So according to a new report, and see, I'll tell you what UPSC did. According to a new report, listen to it very carefully. According to a new report, roughly 50% of India falls in this category. 50% of India falls here. Which means 50% people, though they are capable, but they are not capable enough. Exactly. Which means that the biggest problem in India in terms of unemployment is structural unemployment. So if we are able to give skill to the society, half of the people who are sitting at home, they will do work. That's the problem. Which means that if Government of India wants to give skill to the society, look carefully, if Government of India wants to give skill to the society, like this voluntary unemployment, you can't force them. Like, can the government come here and say, because you are also unemployed, I want you to get into a job? Why? You are preparing for UPSC, you don't want to get into job currently. I'm doing PhD, I studied for a very long time, I didn't want to work. Right, so government can't come and force me. So this part government cannot change easily because that is willing. Can government change this part? Yes. In this part government can change. Why? Because capability is there, willingness is there, searching is there. Just there is only one problem. The problem is job is not there. But in this case, when the Government of India went deeper, they realized that in some cases, the reason that the job is not there is because this C part, capability part, is very low. Which means there would be two types of involuntary unemployment. One type will be where capability is very high capability. willingness very high, search very high, yet there is no job. Is it fine? Highly capable, there is no job. But another type will be capability is low, it is there, it is low. And then willingness very high, and then search is very high, hence you are not getting the job. This is called as structural unemployment. And half of India fits here. Roughly 51-52% India is here. So if you are the Prime Minister of this country and you have to make sure that you have to quickly generate employment, which sector or which segment are you going to target? This or this? You will target this first. Why? Because if you don't pay attention to them, since their capability is little low, see, you can't all of a sudden create a factory. It's not possible for the government to create factory overnight. This will take time. Because their capability is also high, willingness is there, searching is there. You can't force Mr. Tata open a factory. But what can you do? These people are not getting the job. Job is there. But their capability is low. So if you are the government, you will start skill mission called as National Skill Mission. And you will try to launch 14-15 programs and say, let me reskill the society or give new skills so that this type of unemployment is finished. Are you understanding why 13 different type of schemes for skill development? Precisely for this. This is the step. What did UPSC do? Today I won't show you that. Next lecture maybe. UPSC asked a question from here last year. What question was asked from here last year? That India suffers from structural unemployment. Full stop, done. And then they said that how do we measure unemployment in India? What are the shortcomings of the methods of measuring unemployment? Pure technical question. But what was the first part of the question? What do you mean by India suffers from structural unemployment? You had to explain it. Now imagine a student writing a generic answer. Think about it. A student writing a generic answer. Structural unemployment is the unemployment which happens because of lack of skill, full stop. Then you will write the same answer. You are my kids, you will write the same answer by saying that involuntary unemployment can be categorized into two types. The type where capability is little low, willingness is there, searching is there, but they are not getting jobs. That's structural unemployment. Now imagine the marks that you are going to get. The moment the evaluator reads your answer, they will say, wow, because the birth of structural unemployment happens because of involuntary unemployment. So you have to trace the roots. Just one line extra and that fetches you at least 2 marks extra. That's the beauty of answer writing for UPSC. Are you guys understanding? If you directly start your answer from here, you will not get marks. Entire India will do this. But what is UPSC looking there? UPSC wants to know, beta, do you know this? That this is the problem and this leads to this. Hence you have to talk about this. And then you have to tell in your answer that to improve this part, C part, capability which is low, launch the skill missions, improve. Simple. Immediately you will see 50% jump in the employment in India. That's the result that we want. So hence, to be able to discuss those things related to skill development, how can I discuss the skill development if I don't teach you this first? So to be able to discuss those things, you have to know the structure. Does it make sense? Let's write. First, let's write our data book. Very good. Please open your data book, guys. And please write job market. Job market. Divide it into 4 parts. And from tomorrow, every morning, I'll ask you these questions. So, job market. First, employed. Second is involuntary unemployment. You write employed, CWS and J. CWS and J. CWS J. Involuntary unemployment, you have to divide into 2 parts. No. What is the difference between structural and technological? The difference between structural and technological is, in structural, your skill is not good enough. In technological, you are replaced by technology. In structural, you are kicked out of your job and you might be replaced by a human. But in technology, you are replaced by robots, some softwares. That's the difference. And I strongly request you, urge you, that if you want to get good scores in the exam, please don't compare what we are studying in the class with any other standard content material, textbook, etc., or even my own lectures of past. Don't compare, because these things are being done in the class in a very different way now because of the requirement of the exam. If you compare, what will happen is you will be disappointed, because you might feel, no, but this is not the way. So in India, we define it by 15 to 59. What is my source? My source is this year's economic survey and budget. So, for example, the word industries, I taught, that construction and some things are not taken to be mining, etc. If you read NCRTs, construction and mining is a part of primary sector. Construction services and mining primary. But economic services, these are industry. So we'll go by economic survey. आप बता दो, अब तो you don't need me. You look for it and you tell me. You have to find your own answer. Capability is there. Willingness is there. Searching is not there. Capability there, willingness is there, searching is not there. ये देख लो. अच्छा, you are saying willingness is there. Oh, simple. So, for example, we can call it as frictional unemployment. The reason is that you are outside the job market for that time, which means capability is there, that I am capable. Willingness, well, I want to work, but currently I don't want to work. I'm not searching means I don't want to work for some time. So I'm outside. I have kept myself outside. For example, maternity leave. You tell me. Outside the job market, of course. Think logically and you see that you fit here. Maternity leave. No. It becomes a borderline case, special case, because you have only these 4 types. So what will you do? You'll call it as a borderline and exceptional case. That's why I told you that these are standards, but there are many borderlines. So today I'm not discussing the borderline, because eventually you will start to see that where the borderline case fits. Maternity leave is one example. Right.
So when a person is working in IT company, he has job, but he is not interested.
No, you have to tell me from here. In this language you have to talk. Bataiye.
He has job.
He has job.
But he is not willing to.
मतलब you are a student preparing for UPSC, but you don't want to prepare. This is very emotional. Tell me.
He is not willing to do that.
So he's not willing. That means that person should change the career. Right. Your friend over there is saying that you are reading my mind. Are you reading his mind? He's saying, did you read my mind? ऐसा है क्या? नहीं? Okay, I was kidding. So, देखो, it doesn't fit under any category, because that is simple. The simple thing is that you're not happy with your job. So then what do? Change your job. But you are not called unemployed. It's a emotional question. Right? So, for example, you are talking to somebody, but you're not very happy. What? Change the phone number. Simple. Okay? Will you change? Very innocent kid. In structure, you are not capable up to the mark. I mean, don't go for the borderline cases. Come write this, please. Don't waste your time. Did you write it? Chaliye. So that's first thing is done. Let's come back. So now please write the definition of employment. Please write define in your data book only. Today data book. No notebook, only data book. Please write employment. Write a holistic definition. Why confusion wala definition, please write. Employment is equal to, please write, because this question might come in prelims. Employment is equal to engagement in economic activity. Engagement in economic activity. Engagement in economic activity. Then please write next definition. Economic activity is equal to, next definition, economic activity in data book only. Economic activity is equal to activity that adds value. Activity that adds value. Economic activity is activity that adds value. Fine? Cool. Now please write unemployment is equal to CWS minus J. CWS minus J. Up to you should become pro in it. CWS minus J. In the bracket, please write by default. In the bracket, please write by default. Unemployment is equal to involuntary unemployment. Involuntary unemployment. By default means if nobody tells you anything, you have to take unemployment as involuntary unemployment. Unemployment is equal to involuntary unemployment. Close the bracket, please. Now, and by the way, let me tell you the plan. So plan is that first I'll complete this box, then I'll take a small pause, and then whatever doubts you have related to what we have done, I'll take it, then I'll move forward. But yes, there are some borderline cases, like remember in trade deal, I taught you mini trade deal. It was not possible to teach mini trade deal unless we have completed the entire system. Then only we can understand that if nothing works, then mini. How can we start the lecture with mini? So that's why there are few things which you can do only when you complete the entire theory. So those parts I will hold on to it. But other parts, whatever your doubts are related to this box, first I'll complete, then you let me know. There are 2-3 questions. I'll answer, then we'll go ahead. Okay, is it fine? We'll do that only. So now hold on. Is it problem? Help them. Alright, 22. This is 24 and this 22. So can we make it 23, 24? Thank you. So come back please. So guys, look at this box now. This part we have to, did you write this in your data book? I had given you a homework. Did you write it? To my online students, have you written it in your data book? Dikhaiye. Show me your data book first. Let me check first online. Anybody who does not write it in the data book, there can be a problem then. So, Samadhita, first you show, this is not your data book, this is your notebook. No. Acha, that's your notebook. Okay, fine, understood. Pawan, but that's your notebook. That's your class notebook. That's not your data book. And BD, that's your data book. Acha, that's your data book only. Okay, Pawan, fine, cool. Thank you. And KM, is that your data book or notebook? Data book, cool. Your cameras are good. That's why when you are putting your data book also, it looks like a notebook. Ayush, very nice. And Manu, that's your notebook. Manu, you are very honest. You said that you wrote in the class notes only, but I asked you not to do it. These are small things. See, guys, behave like a school kid only. You will learn more. I'm telling you this. Even when I meet my professors, these days also I behave like a school kid in front of them because the learning improves automatically. Because that baggage you carry, that, yeah, I know it. That baggage is gone. When you feel you are in the school, that baggage is gone and you become more productive. So Manu, you will follow the instruction from next time. Pritha, can you show me your data book? And Rajan, data book please. Perfect. Sucheta, that's data book, notebook. Data book. Devanshu, perfect. Manas, you are gayab. iPad, you are gayab. And PB, where are you? Data book. Why? You didn't bring? Okay. Data book. But I told you to bring a data book. Do you have data book? Cool. Data book. First class, second class, but you should have got the data book. Yesterday I told you. No, please mind these things. This is important. Data book. Data book. Data book. Have you written it? No. Why? You are attending class. Every lecture you attend. No, I have seen you. Why didn't you write? Forgot. Take it seriously. Data book. School kid. Manas, now you are back. But, I mean, I was hoping that you will follow the instructions. You see, from this side I can give 100%, but from that side I also need 100%. That will make our score very high in the exam because our end goal is fixed. We have to crack the exam. If you don't give me an opportunity, how will I work on you? We have to work on improvements, right? So from tomorrow I want to see the data book. Data book. Have you written it? No. You have not written these formulas. Written. Okay, fine. What about you? Show me the formulas. Why were you absent? One day you were absent because you were writing the test. And after that, 3-4 days again you were absent. You are little irregular in the class, which means that you have to be regular. Because I remember that you are also very honest, because you told me honestly long time back that you want to learn the subject. You have not got a chance to learn it properly. But if you don't give me a chance to teach you properly, how will you learn? So please make sure that you are regular in the class. Discipline is important. Your discipline motivates me actually. You have no idea. If you are disciplined, no, it keeps me on my toes to do better and bring new things in front of you, exam oriented things. Because if I see that you are slow, I might be demotivated one day feeling that maybe you're not learning from me, or maybe, I don't know, this class is not good enough. I might not be motivated to continue the next batch. So don't do that. So be disciplined. Nah? Keep motivating your faculties also through your hard work. Manu, saw it. Nice. What about you? Good. You? I've already seen. What about you? Show me the data book entry. Where have you written? Very good. You have written. What about your friend over there at back? Data book. Very nice. You have written more things. What have you written other than the class things? I was kidding. It's fine. She was also behaving like school kids. She wrote her entire story in the data book. Right? So I was kidding. No, don't take it very seriously. How about you? You are very regular now. Very nice. So formula. Now I am happy. Finally. Cool. So from tomorrow, two things will happen. Every day I'll give you a blank sheet. Renu, where is your data book? Data book. Data book. Good. Manas, good. So from tomorrow, I'll give you blank sheets. You will have to fill this formula in front of me. That's number one. And number two, you have to show me your data book every day. You have got the data. Don't take it lightly. Because if we have to do more answer writing with you, how will I do it? I will ask you to bring the formulas and you will say, forgot, didn't try. I say, don't do it, please. So this data has to be there. Now I'm going to tell you a very small story. Think about it and let me know what is the answer of this. Now hold on, guys. Look at the board, please. There is something called labor force. Look at it carefully. I want you to memorize this in the class itself. There is a word called as labor force. What is labor force? Labor force would mean that there are people who are actually working. And what do you mean by people who are working? In half a second, please define me. What do you mean by people who are employed or working? CWS plus J. That's like my kids. Awesome. So CWS plus J, that's working. But there are also people who have CWS, but they are not working because they don't have jobs. What do you call them as? Which unemployed? Involuntary unemployment. CWS minus J. But those are those people who actually are in the labor force ready to work. They are just not getting jobs. Which means there are two types of people whom you call as labor force. Those who are working and those who are desperately looking for jobs, searching for job, willing to work, capable enough but not getting job. So what do you mean by labor force? The meaning of labor force according to our formula is this. See, there is something called employed. There is something called involuntary unemployment. So what is employed? CWSJ. We don't write. I'll give you amazing, beautiful formula. CWSJ, that is employed. And I told you this is the meaning of conventional unemployment, which is CWS minus J. When you combine these two, this and this, that is called labor force. Because these people who are doing PhDs, etc., they are outside the labor force. So that's your labor force of India. So if somebody will tell you what is labor force, you can simply say labor force is equal to employed plus unemployed. Employed, you understand, CWSJ, and I told you the conventional meaning of unemployment is involuntary unemployment. That's the conventional meaning. So labor force is equal to this. How will you write it in your data book? Like this. So in your data book, wherever you have written these two, so either if you have space here, you can do this and write labor force, or if you don't have space in your data book, then you can write here. Next definition, labor force is equal to employment plus unemployment, or you can write employed plus involuntary unemployed. You have to be more precise now. Involuntary unemployed. And the third thing that you will write in your data book is CWS plus J plus CWS minus J. You have to write all. लिख लीजिए, please write. Please write this. Written. Good speed. So please write labor force is equal to E plus unemployed is equal to employed plus involuntary unemployed is equal to CWS plus J plus CWS minus J. All fine? All fine so far? Awesome. So that's your labor force. Now, next definition. Done guys? To my online show is done? Cool. Now let's come back. And let's see what we have written here. See, what is this called as guys? See, there is something called labor force participation rate. Very nice. Labor force participation. Let me tell you a simple story. In 1 minute, you will understand this. And it has to be there in your mind forever. What is labor force participation rate? Now, suppose guys that there is a family. In that family, there are like 10 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ऐसे करके 9 people are there. And then there is one small kid. Right? This is a kid. So, one kid and 9 adults. 10 people are there in the family. Now, this family has a neighbor. That neighbor is throwing a party today. So in the party, the neighbor has said, please come and join the party. How many people from this family went to the party? 3 people. From this family, this is a joint family. This family stays in one house, 9 adults, 1 kid. So 3 members of this family went to party because in the neighborhood, there is a birthday celebration. So 3 people went there. Now I want to ask you a question. Can you please tell me what is the percentage participation of this family in the neighborhood party? How many members are there in the family? Total number of members? 10. 10. 9 plus 1, 10. 10. So if somebody will ask you what is the percentage participation by this family, you might be tempted to say 3 by 10. Out of 10, how many people? 3. So if you convert it into percentage, 3 by 10 into 100, it is equal to 30%. 30%? Manas, you have given a different answer. Manas is smart, he is smiling. He says, CSAT, sir. He says, but kids who are very small, like this size, 2-year, 3-year-old, they are not supposed to party. He says, how can I count this kid half? She's so innocent. She said, I'll call the kid as half participant. Right? I know where the analogy comes from, half ticket. Right? So this kid should not be counted in the denominator. Why? Because, legally, he should not be allowed to party. He or she should not be allowed to party, to get into such parties, because we don't know the details of the party. Should not be allowed, which means you can't count the kid in the party. So which means that if you have to find out what is the participation rate, you have to remove this kid from the list. Why? Because he's not eligible to participate in the party. He should not be participating because I didn't tell you the nature of the party. So no idea, not capable of the party. This kid is not capable to enjoy the party. He needs assistance. So if you're not capable on your own, you are out. So then the denominator should become 9. And your answer should be 33%. 3 upon 9 into 100. Your answer should be 33%. Which means if somebody will ask you, beta, what's labor force participation rate? You should say that labor force participation rate should mean that suppose this is entire India. Entire India will have children who are less than 15 years and people who are greater than 59. So greater than 59, we take 60. So those who are less than 15, more preciseness, very important. So less than 15, greater than 59, because 59 is included in the work. So greater than 59. So these two are out. So if I have to find out what is the labor force participation in India, how many people are there in the labor force who are participating in the work? So these are the people who are eligible to work. Like out of 10 members in the family, only 9 are eligible to party. So out of entire India, only these people are eligible to actually work. Hence, this is called as work age population or working age population. So what is the working age population of India according to economic survey and budget of this year? Next year, I don't know, it might change, but this year it is 15 to 59 years. 15, I'll tell you the numbers later. I have all the data I showed you, the table and the graph, everything is there. So this is, yes, 15 to 59. That's your working age population. Which means if you have to find out that how many people are actually participating in labor force in India, then what I'll have to do is labor force participation rate is equal to labor force upon WAP. Which means out of this, how many people joined labor force? Because you are eligible. If you are eligible and you have joined, then I will call you as labor force participation. But if you are eligible, but you said I'm going on a PhD holiday. Oh, PhD holiday. You are eligible. No. Priyanka, forget about it. OECD, etc. I also know OECD. Bhul jao usko. Don't tell me what is OECD. Forget about it. Come back to the class. So, we are doing something really big. So don't get into all this. Come back, please. So what is happening here? 15 to 59. So I told you that this is the group which is eligible. Let's try to get deeper into it. I'm deliberately going slow in this because it's very technical in nature. So from this group, आपको पता what is the most interesting part of this group? In this eligibility group only, there are people who are employed. Look at this beautiful thing now. In this group only, there are people who are employed. In this group only, there are people whom you find as involuntary unemployment. In this group only, there are people who are facing voluntary unemployment. So what are we saying? We are saying what is labor force participation? Out of this group, we are just selecting two. These two, and we are saying that's called labor force because they are not interested. How can I call it as labor force? So out of this group, these two, numerator, and this entire group, denominator. That's your labor force participation. So in your data book, what will you write? In your data book, you should create a line like this, a straight line. What should be your title? Your title in your data book should be LFPR. Then you should create this line. In this line, you should divide it into this, 15 and 59. And before 15, you should cross. They are not eligible. After 59, cross. Not eligible. And then this group is called work age participation. Work age population. 15 to 59. You should write eligible. Then you should draw 3 lines. For today, 3 lines. First line, employed. Second line, involuntary unemployment. And third, voluntary unemployment. 1, 2, 3. Please focus here. Don't lose focus. If you keep looking here, you will understand. Employed, involuntary unemployed, voluntary unemployed. From eligibility only. And then these two you encircle like this. And then you write labor force. And then you write the formula of labor force participation is equal to labor force upon working age population into 100. That's your answer. Dekho bachcho, when I start to teach you the story of this, that in India employment increase like this, that time will be very fast because there is no complexity. These are technical things. It has to be done like this only. There is no other way. Are you with me? Are you with me? Tell me, no problem, tell me. You missed out. So that's why I gave you the example of party first. First, you have to get outside the literature mode. Because the moment you get stuck in literature, then literature says that labor force one of only those people who are working. But I'm also talking about the potential labor force who is saying, I am labor force, give me job. It says that I am in that pool. So for example, let's say this is India. Okay, this is India. That's 141 crore people. Out of this 141 crore people, there are these people where CWS plus job. Then you have these people who are involuntary unemployed, CWS minus job as of now. What they do is, both of them, so let's say there are 40 crore people here and there are 20 crore people here. Okay? So now you are the prime minister of this country and you are telling a friendly country like, let's say, Russia, that Russia, we can boast of a big labor force. Russia will say, Acha, what's your labor force? So you will say, Russia, you have no idea. Our labor force is this box. This box is our labor force. Russia will say, what do you mean by labor force? So you will tell Russia that Russia, whatever happens, you should be friends with India for two reasons. One, our labor force is very high. So in future, when we establish manufacturing companies, there will be no scarcity of people. And since our population is very high, so we don't need other markets. India itself is a market. So we have labor force as well as we have population as consumers. That's why Russia, you should be best friends with India because Chinese population is aging fast. Their labor force is also coming down. Their consumers are also coming down. Hence, you will see a lot more countries in the world, including Maldives, they are back to India because they believe that there are two things about India. First, labor force is huge. You can't neglect that. And number two, we will start to age only after 2040. Till 2040, we are not going to age as a country. Hence, we are a big consumer market, we are a good labor force market. So, Government of India flaunts everyone that these are the people who are employed, 40 crore. And then government says, these are the 20 crore people who are involuntary unemployed, which means that they can get job anytime. The moment we open a factory, they'll get a job, which means they are also a potential labor force just waiting to jump out. So government includes them in the box and says, that's my labor force. Who is left out from this labor force? Here. There are people who are doing PhDs, they are preparing for UPSC, they are preparing for banking exam. They are not a part of it because government says, I know you will not come here till the time you qualify the exam. Absolutely. Who is ready to participate? And there's your definition. This and this. You don't see these two anywhere else. So obviously, this is the definition of labor force. People who are willing to, absolutely correct. And Harsh, you did not come on camera. Why? You did not show me your diary as well, the data book. Why? It is, no, that's not allowed. I mean, you cannot simply keep participating in the class in a passive manner. You have to show me the data book. Right, so I want to see your data book and then only I'll interact with you. Otherwise, sorry, not possible. Show me the data book, come on camera, please. That's very important. And from next time, I'll make sure that anyone who is interacting with me, you have to come on camera and you have to come on data book. Dikhaiye, please come back again. Your participation has to be very active. Passive participation not allowed. You be on the camera all the time. So then only I'll interact with you. It's very important. So, he's using economics principle. So, every time I try to become serious, he'll say something which will take away the seriousness. So, you're behaving like a school kid. Right? So, good. Thank you so much. And Harsh, you be on camera only. So that you are more serious. This is a serious topic. I'll do this in technical topics with you. And I'm not trying to do anything negative with you. It's simple that I want you to be serious in some topics like this. This is not theory. This is pure technicality. So, what are we doing? Look carefully, bacho. Guys, you have to be very focused here. What is this employed? Employed is CWS. Here, CWS. And what is this involuntary unemployment? CWS. Again, CWS. So anywhere you see CWS, just put them in this box. That's your labor force box. Cool? Let's go back. Let's make our life easy. So this is your line. This is the eligibility line. These people are eligible to work. Out of the eligibility line, these people are working. All cool? Out of eligibility, these people are trying but not getting the work. But they are eligible. And then there is a third category of people who are eligible but they don't want to work. Like you are doing your preparation for UPSC. Once I was doing my higher studies. So you and I, part of this. I was a part of this some time back. You are a part of this now. Willingly we are out. So if Government of India has to find out who is the labor force of India, what will government do? Government say, beta, this is my labor force, this is my, because they are not ready to work. So that's labor force divided by eligible. That is called as labor force participation. So from whosoever is eligible, who is actually working or ready to work, that's your labor force participation rate. Let's write one line. Out of, in the data book itself, you have to write the definition of labor force participation rate. Good to see you finally online, all of you. So please write out of the eligible population that is working age population, WAP, 15 to 59 years, in the bracket 15 to 59 years, out of the working age population, out of the eligible working age population 15 to 59 years, put a dash, the percentage of people who are either employed or undergoing involuntary unemployment is called as LFPR, labor force participation rate. Because this is a complex definition. But if you try to memorize the formula, it's nothing. I've just converted formula into literature. So what's the jugaad? How do you memorize what is labor force participation? It's simple jugaad, I'll tell you. You just need to close your eyes and think, where is my CWS category? Capable, willing, and searching. Wherever you have CWS, that's your labor force participation rate. So in this entire list, see, बहुत easy, super easy. So for example, look at this please. See this guys, where is CWS? Here. Because CWS is happening here, positive, CWS. Here also CWS. Rest places, if you see, either C will be not there, W will be not there, SWS will not be there. But here CWS, both the places. So that becomes your labor force. So what is labor force? CWS, this plus this. That's your labor force divided by eligible. Eligible means 15 to 59. Simple. That's your labor force participation rate. Now let's flip the argument. Let's come back. Let's see this. WPR. What is this? Work participation rate. Sometimes it is also called as working participation rate. I call it as work participation rate. So what is work participation rate? Number of people who are actually working. So now we are not calling them as labor force. We are calling them as people who are working. So number of people who are working out of total population. So if I tell you that the total population of India is 141 crores, example, and then I tell you that number of people who are employed is roughly around 40 crores. So 40 upon 141 into 100, that's your work participation rate. So work participation rate means people who are actually working, and who are working, people who are employed. So that's why employed by total population. Now look at this word, work participation rate. Hold on to it please. Work participation rate. Now if I ask you a question, what are the different kinds of or methods using which people work? What is this? This is number of people who are working. Hash shows number of people. So if I ask you, what are the different ways in which people work? 3 ways majorly. One, self-employed. Second, wage employment. You are getting regular salaries. And third, casual worker. Broadly 3 categories. And every other fringe category can be put somewhere here. Like gig workers, I can put under casual. So there are 3 broader categories in which Government of India, not me, Government of India has divided work. So for example, that's why I told you it's very technical topic. So for example, work participation rate. What is work participation rate? Number of employed upon total population. Okay, let's expand the formula. You should write it in your data book. Keep writing guys. Number 2, work participation rate. It's important guys, do it, let's do it. By this we will make sure that our prelims and mains is taken care of. Our newspaper understanding becomes almost rock solid. So what is work participation rate? People who are employed upon total population. Now what is number of employed? Number of employed in India is considered to be 3 types. 3 types of engagement. Number 1, self-employed. Second, wage employment, and third, casual employment divided by total population. See? That's your formula. Absorb it, please. I know it will be overwhelming after some time, but that's your syllabus. You have to do that. And plus, you can enjoy this. If you do it nicely, no, you'll start to enjoy that. Okay, these are the connections. So, what is work participation rate? First, write it, please. Later on, first write, absorb as much as you can. Later on, we'll come to your questions. See, the first tendency that you should have is whenever we write something here, first take it as granted. That, this is fine. Let me absorb. After you absorb, then you process. After you process, then you start looking where am I getting stuck, and then you raise your hand and I'll answer your question. Absorb, process internally, and then let's have a discussion. I'm open to discussion because I simply love these kind of topics. I feed on this. So if you ask me more questions, I'll be more motivated. But only after you absorb and process. So you please write WPR, work participation rate. Are you understanding there? What are you writing? But did you understand? Awesome. Are you understanding? Anybody having the first lecture today? Ayush, where are you lost? Why didn't I see you since last few lectures? Where were you? I hope you are regular in the class because you are also one of the very hardworking students. See, I know him since very long, almost like 1 or 2 years I know him. I saw him offline also. So that's why when I see some faces, I told you I might not remember you by name all the time, but if I see you even in very dense traffic also, I'll recognize you. Right? This I promise you. So that's why Harsh, I told you, come on camera so that your face is imprinted in my mind and I'll recognize you wherever I see. In a cafe, if I see you, wasting your time, there only we will start economics. Right? Pawan, all fine? Pawan, why do you look so tensed? Chapter looks heavy. If this is heavy, wait for inflation and foreign investment. Sorry, come back. So guys, this is your work participation. I'm not trying to scare you. That was on a lighter note. This is work participation rate. What is this? It is number of employed people by total population. There are 3 types of employed people. One, data, current affairs. What is the data? That this in India is roughly 21%. This in India is roughly 22%. So can you please tell me what is this? Macho? 100 minus 43. 100 minus 43. So if there are 100 people in India who are employed, 100 people employed, out of 100 people, roughly 57% self-employed. That's the data from New Budget and Economic Survey this year. And roughly 22% wage and roughly 21% casual. This number keeps on changing. Sometimes this becomes 21, this becomes 22, 23. This keeps on flipping, which means they are almost very close. I can also call it as 21, 21 or 22, 22, and I'll be right because it is in decimals. So for example, this one is roughly around 21.9 and this one is, let's say, 21.2. It's very close. So these two are very close and this is 57. Memorize it, please. For UPSC, you have to memorize this. So this is how you write the formula. Okay, so 2 things done now. Labor force participation rate, you have already internalized, and this also you have internalized. Now please tell me the formula of labor force participation rate. What is there in the numerator? What is the meaning of labor force in here? Labor force has 2 components. First component, employed. What is employed in CWS terms? C plus W plus S plus jobs. Very nice, plus J. And what is the other component of labor force? Unemployed. Which unemployment? Involuntary. What is involuntary? C plus W plus S minus J. So what is common between employed and unemployed? CWS. So wherever you see CWS, that's your labor force. Without giving a second thought, CWS, labor force, CWS, labor force. Whether jobs or no jobs, but you are in the labor force. Because you are capable, you are willing and you are searching. If you are searching, of course you are labor force. So CWS is a labor force. Very nice. So now you have the second formula. These things will become super easy now. 3 things done. Now 4 things. This is super easy. I mean, even if you don't do this, still you will be okay. So what is this? Unemployment rate. Simply you have to memorize this formula. Unemployment rate would be number of people who are unemployed in your labor force. So inside your labor force, there are two types of people, isn't it? Two types of people, Rajan. First is employed plus unemployed. Out of employed and unemployed, whosoever is unemployed, you call them as unemployment rate. What is your employment rate? Rate would means that what is your total employed plus unemployed labor force, which means CWS. From your CWS, what is the number of people who are employed? So employed upon labor force, unemployed upon labor force. Memorize this. Which means, अब देखना मजेदार चीज, let me show you a ratio. How can you memorize and understand? Which very few people would tell you or very few people would know. देखो, what is unemployment rate? Unemployed. Unemployed means CWS minus J. And what is the meaning of labor force? C. CWS plus J plus CWS minus J. Now it starts to make sense. So what do we do? In denominator you are writing CWS plus J, CWS minus J. What is CWS plus J? CWS plus J? Yes, yes. CWS plus J means you are getting the job. Employed. And what is this minus J? Unemployed. Involuntary unemployment. So this is employed plus this is unemployed. So you have this and this. In the numerator, if you take minus J, it becomes unemployment rate. If you take plus J, it becomes employment rate. See how easy? This is how you need to memorize. So guys, today you have to memorize all these things so that tomorrow I can start playing with this concept with you and you will also feel at ease that I know all this, ask me anything you feel like. That confidence has to come in the class today. Next question will come to you. I forgot to ask you a question. So now I'll ask you a question. So that's your unemployment and employment rate. Achha, what is this formula? See this? This is for fun. Proportion of unemployment is equal to number of people who are unemployed, and since the word says proportion, so proportion of what? Population. So number of people who are unemployed out of your total population into 100. Here we are not using the word rate, we are not using the word participation, we are just using the word proportion. Proportion is always used in the context of total population. When you have a big universal set, then we use the word proportion. Jaise, there were 9 members in the family who are eligible for the party and there is one kid in the house who is not eligible. But if I tell you that what proportion of the family went out to party, proportion, oh, then you recall, sir told that proportion means universal set, entire thing. Okay, 10. So 3 divided by 10, that's your proportion. So number of people who are unemployed by the total population. So please write a note just for this topic. This formula you have already written in your data book, so I am not asking you to duplicate it. You have already written these 3 things in your data book, I know it. The only thing which I made you write is there is something new, so I made you write. Please write a note, note in your data book, that proportion is used in the context of, entire population. Proportion is used in the context of entire population. Is used in the context of entire population. In the context of entire population. Or in the context of universal set. Universal set. Entire population is called universal set. What is universal set? So this is entire India. That's called as universal set. Entire India is the universal set. Out of entire India, there would be people who are employed. There would be people who are involuntary unemployed. There would be people who are voluntary unemployed. And that's the rest of the India. This is also one method to see it. We'll see it later on, not today. We'll see it later. So these are formulas that we wrote. Now let's do some number crunching, some data, some trend from the economic survey, the budget, the PIB. हाँ बताइए. Okay.
The last slide, what is TA?
Where?
Sir, where you have written self-employed plus wage employment plus casual total population.
Oh, sorry. This is, sorry. Total population. Yes. Absolutely. So whenever you see the word unemployment, by default it is involuntary unemployment. If we have to talk about voluntary, we will specifically use the word we. That's the trend across the world. Sure. Yes. In where? This one? No. In see, number of people who are employed, again, you are getting stuck in only one thing, which means you are either overthinking or you have read somewhere something which is conflicting your thoughts. So see, I am writing it again. There is no problem. If you look at it from a very open mind, no, you won't find problem. I'll tell you how. So suppose that this is the age. It starts from 0 years. It can't be zero. Somebody is just born. A child is born. It can be 1 day, 1 hour. And that's your, let's say, 100 years is the maximum that people live in India. Example. So see here. So that's your 15 years and that's your 59 years. So far so good. Any problem? I am assuming that this is the maximum lifespan to all my online students as well. Maximum. And minimum is 0 point something. Because how can it be 0? 0 means the person doesn't exist. So it's 1 day, 2 day old child. 0 point something. Now, what is the eligible section for work in India officially, legally? Otherwise, constitution will not leave you. 15 to 59. So government of India, according to constitution, according to Supreme Court, various judgments, they have decided 15 to 59 is the eligibility for work. Otherwise, less than 15 child labor, right? And greater than this exploitation. So this is eligibility. Now, inside this, there are some people. So let's write this CWS. Capable, willing, and searching. All okay? Because who will be capable? Who are eligible? Who will be willing? Who are eligible? Who will be searching? Who are eligible? So if you fulfill CWS, capable, willing, searching, if you get a job, from here only, if you get a job, you are called as employed. If you don't get a job, you are called as involuntary unemployed. How easy and smooth. Now, from eligibility, these two things done, there is a third category. Third category, like you are preparing for UPSC, let's talk about you, so that you will be able to associate with it. So capability, of course, yes. What is the meaning of capability? Are you suitable for some job? Yes, why not? Everybody is suitable for some job. So capability, yes. Willingness, no. Are you searching for job? No. So will you get a job since you are not searching and you are not willing? So will you work? No. What are you called as? Voluntary unemployed. From eligibility itself. Why are you eligible? Because you are capable. At this age and phase also, you are actually capable of doing some job. So, but you are not willing, you are not searching. So now if I ask you that between 15 to 59, if I ask you a simple question, there is one more category that's a fringe that we are not going to discuss today. So I don't want to discuss it because there are a few things in which even I am uncomfortable, so I discuss it towards the end. Example, I'll tell you example. So let's say I'm between 15 to 59, right? And I'll have to discuss it now. So let's say that I suffer from some accident and I lose my physical capability to work. Something happened. Even though I'm 15 to 59, but then I'm not capable. So despite this, I'm not capable. So immediately I'll be moved out. So which means that this category which you are saying, this is outside job. There is one more category from here which is outside job, which is outside job market. So if somebody from here loses the capacity to work, they move in this category. So let's say I'm a 20-year-old kid, but because of some accident, I lose my capacity to work. I didn't want to talk about negative things today, but since you asked, I have to. So let's say I'm 20-year-old kid. I have lost my physical capability to work because of, let's say, COVID or some accident. I fit here only. I don't fit here and here. But I'm a special case. Now I lost my capability. So I'll easily move from here to another category called outside job. So outside the job will have two categories. One age-wise and one capacity-wise. But this I wanted to discuss later. So I don't want to get, because in one day only if I bring every technicality, what will happen is bombardment will happen. And you will lose track. So isko let's forget. Let's only focus on this. Abhi, is it clear? If you go very swiftly, then you can see what is common here. Common is that eligibility is of two types: eligible and ready to work, eligible not ready to work. All okay? Cool. So now let's come back and let's do some data. Data part is my favorite. ये देखो. देखेंगे अभी because we'll move into it later on. देखेंगे कोई बात नहीं. Look at this first. So today the formula part, the self-employment etc. will come later. Just say I have a slide for you where I think, let me see. ये पूछो ना. Is there, but we'll not see it today. Today I have some other plans. Look at this, guys. Current affairs. Oh, by the way, how did I miss you? So CP, where are you? How did you get the liberty of not coming in camera, huh? Because you are a very active participant. You give so many good answers also. Come on camera. And you didn't show me your data book also. So you have to show your data book. You are participating in the class, you have to show your data book. And BD, what have you written? SBI get... Your online friend is asking, you guys are in total school mood today. Your friend is asking, sir, does SBI get time to do research work during lunchtime? Alright, come here please. So guys, this is, no, we are not discussing farm, agriculture today. So guys, see, working age population of, Macho, please focus, this is important. And I told you, this is a very technical session I'm taking, so deliberately I'm being slow, I'm telling you this, because if I rush through it, no, every word will get mixed with every other word. So let's be a little slow, let's understand, and then from tomorrow we can pick pace, our normal pace. But today it has to be like this. It says working age population rising. Oh, working age population. See the benefit of attending these kind of sessions now. And good you are not absent in today's session, because now you know what is working age population. What is working age population? 15 to 59. Please tell me the three important components of working age population. First is employed. Second, involuntary employed. Third, voluntary unemployment. Now can you please tell me, nobody will tell, you will tell, what is the definition in terms of CWS of employed? Only you. Searching. CWS plus job. What is the meaning of that? Employed. And what is the meaning of involuntary unemployment in terms of CWS? Good to see you, CP back. Good. Tell me. Diary please. Data book. Hold on. That's important. Data book is there. Very nice. All of you who is showing data book today will get a virtual chocolate from me. So close your eyes and imagine the chocolate. Tell me. CWS. What is that? Perfect. And can you describe your status today? What definition in terms of CWS? Capable?
Not related, not searching, and
no job. Wonderful. So now if you go in UPSC interview, I have seen these kind of questions. Some candidates used to tell me that in UPSC they ask us, describe your employment status. And the moment you say unemployed, they'll not be happy. Because it's not typical unemployment. Because unemployment would mean involuntary unemployment. That means you want to work, but you are not getting work. That's not correct. So whenever somebody will ask you, beta, what's your status? Simply say CWS. CWS. Capable, not willing, not searching, no jobs. So you are voluntary unemployed. Now you got the concept. Very nice. Who else has to answer? You will answer now. Right? Your turn. So it says working age population of India is rising. So what do you mean by that? What is the definition of working age? That formula of working age? 15 to 59. And what will be in the denominator? Total population. Brilliant. Because I didn't tell this definition to you. Super, brilliant. So what is the definition of working age population? Working age population is equal to number of people in the age group 15 to 59 by total population into 100. That's your working age population. Please write. Brilliant answer. Very nice, Sujata. Correct. Please write. Working age population is equal to 15 to 59 upon total population into 100. Upon total population into 100. And how do you know it's total population? How do you know she's right? She's right because she paid attention to one thing and gave a brilliant answer, which is I asked her what is working age population. She said that this is the total population of India, suppose. Total population of India falls in the category of 0 to 100 years. Total population of India. So she says that, sir, this is the total population. Out of this is the working age population. So she says working age population is equal to this, right, which is 15 to 59. She says divided by this entire population of India. Beautiful answer. So it's rising. It's around 64% in the next census. SBI research. SBI research. Why? Because Government of India census report, etc. is not complete. Government of India was supposed to do the census, but that's not complete. They couldn't do it. COVID time, problems happened. In 2011, last census report. 2021, the next one should have come. But we are not having it. So who is helping the Government of India in doing that kind of gap filling of census? SBI and other agencies. Because of COVID, government couldn't do that research. Census report not ready. So who is giving us the reports? SBI is giving the report, and this is what SBI said. Ab dekho, now you play with this concept. See how easy it becomes for you. Do you have to memorize all this? No. You have to only look at one figure. See, I'll show you. Absolutely. See, for today's lecture, age-wise distribution. This is SBI research and old census report. Now see, what is this age-wise distribution? Population by broad age group in India. 1991, 2001, 2021, 2020. Provisional. P means provisional. It's not final. It can be updated again. So now see, 18 years and above, that's your percentage. That's your population by crores. These are the number of crores. 0 to 14 crores, 15 to 59 crores. Wow, 91 crores. 15 to 59 is 91 crores, which means that my working age population is 91 crores. I know it now. Amazing. Which means I can draw this chart. See, you are my students. I know what you will do. You will immediately draw this. Then you will write 15 and you will write 59. And then here you will write 91 crores. Job done. How simple. And then above 59, see. Let's try to check if you are getting above 50, 60 plus. Because I told you, no, normally we take 60, greater than 60. From here only I got all these numbers. So greater than 60. That borderline 59 to 60, it's all covered under it. So what is 60 plus? 60 plus is 15. So I'll put here 15 crores. Amazing. We are getting the numbers now. So now less than 15, see. So 0 to 14. 0 to 14 is 34. It goes in your data book. Data book. Draw this timeline, please. Age line. And please write it in your data book. And here you please write SBI population data. When I was reading the economic survey, this was not 91, this was 92. SBI says 91, Government of India says 92. So we'll go by one of them. Even if you take 91 or 92, both are correct according to different agencies. So it's fine. After the class, don't do a research. I'm myself telling you that according to economic surveys, 92. According to SBI, 91. And SBI said it's provisional. It can change. Let's go with 91. Let's follow one report. Right? So from here, suppose that I give you a data. That number of people who are employed, so let's say employed plus involuntary unemployed in India. Example, employed plus involuntary unemployed in India is 56 crores, which means out of this 91, E and involuntary unemployment, these two is 56 crores and remaining is voluntary unemployment. So if this is 56, can you please tell me labor force participation rate? Please calculate and tell me. Labor force participation rate, guys. Take out your calculator and calculate, please. Labor force participation rate. What is labor force participation rate? Absolutely correct. Do it, calculator. What is labor force participation rate? Who will give me the answer? Labor force participation rate. Brilliant, Raj. That's what I was looking for. What is labor force participation? Answer? 56 upon 91 into 100. 56 upon 91 into 100. What's the answer? Roughly 61%. And you are absolutely correct because roughly correct, because here's your, where is labor force? Acha, it is not mentioned. So, yeah, it is mentioned. Have I written it somewhere? Oh, labor force is not. Just give me a second. This, sorry. That's the data. That's what I was looking for. You see, that's the labor force participation rate of India. So that's your chart, labor force participation rate. See what I have written. And this I have taken from PIB. Before coming to your class, I just collected some information from PIB, the latest PIB, a few days back only. And I just copied the data and brought it in the class because it has to be updated data. So see, in 2000, I'll make you write all this, don't worry. It will all go in your data book, but in a proper way. So see, 2017-18, what is labor force participation rate? 49.8%, 2017-18. And have you seen the UPSC trend? They are asking last 5 years, last 10 years, they are asking questions now. So you have to see what happened almost like 6-7 years back, roughly 49.8. What is the labor force participation rate of male? 75.8%, female 23.3%. This also we will have to do for prelims. And such questions are also asked in mains. So now it is becoming slightly more data oriented. I mean, I can't help it. And if anybody tells you data is not required, show them the first question of UPSC this year. Uske they will stop talking to you. So if anybody says data not required, here's your data not required. Show them the inflation question. And there they will get to know, because there you had to talk about the reasons why food inflation was there. You had to talk about numbers and data. Contribution of tomatoes, potatoes, onion, this much, monsoon, this much, etc. You have to write all that. So how can you not write data? So male 75, female 23. This is what you have to memorize. And when it comes to 23-24, because 24 is still running, probably we don't have data for 24. So male 78, female 41. Wow, look at the growth rate. So male went from 75 to 78, which is not a very huge jump, but look at the female jump. 23 to 41, almost doubled, yeah. Huge. Which means there has been a jump in the female labor force participation rate, and hence when we do this analysis, we'll have to write an answer in the class. Why female labor force participation rate increased? This will be the UPSC mains question. So one or two reasons could be it increased in agriculture. So there are two types of jobs related to farm. They are called as agricultural, jobs, and farm sector job. So they are also called as farm sector jobs. And then there is non-farm sector job. There are two types of job. So what do we observe? That the agricultural sector is giving more opportunity to women. So feminization of agriculture has happened. So this is one of the reasons. And another is weights, different weights. It is weighted average. You can't simply add them and divide by 2. We have to take the weighted percentage, which means in entire population of India, what is the proportion of women, that becomes the weight. So it's all weighted average, CSAT. You can't add and divide by 2. If you take weighted average, you will get this. So male 78, female 41, roughly 60% here, which means that labor force participation rate in India, look carefully bacho, labor force participation rate in India is increasing, that's number one. For male also it is increasing like this, but for female it is increasing like this. Male increasing normally, female increasing steeply. The rise in female is high. So the female labor force participation rate is contributing more in pushing our labor force participation rate. These are the statements that has to be written for UPSC prelims and mains. But how will one understand all this if one does not know what is LFPR? Now you know what is labor force participation rate. So my question goes to you. What is labor force participation rate? Formula please. LFPR is equal to, please give me the answer, is equal to employed plus involuntary unemployment upon working age population into 100. Brilliant. So every time we will see this data in the class, I will ask you questions and you will have to answer in half a second, and please be active in the class. In these things, your active participation required. Similarly, when I do balance of payment, your active participation required. In inflation, your active participation required. Taxation, heavy active participation required. In other theory-oriented topic, passive also is fine. Because in agriculture, I can't do this with you. Agriculture has to be big stories, but here I can do that. In subsidies, we'll do this game. In subsidies, I'll ask you questions like formula. What do you mean by consumer subsidy? What is producer subsidy? What is farmer subsidy? What is FCI, Food Corporation of India subsidy? What is the National Food Security Act subsidy formula? There are different subsidies formula. And you will be very comfortable with all this if you learn to participate in the class starting from today and you are seeing this. So don't worry, I'll make you write this, I'll make you draw this also, but let's go to the next one first. Let's have overall picture first. So guys, see, what do you observe here? You observe a very nice thing. You drew a age line where you wrote 91 crores, you also wrote 15 crores, and then you also wrote 34 crores. Fine, this is what you wrote. Now let's come back and let's see what is written there. Share in percentage. So this is saying that what is the percentage of population out of total population in a certain age group. So let's say total population of India example is, let's say 141 crores. Out of 141 crores, how many people are there in the working age group in percentage terms? So that's 65% currently. So 65%, you see, so 65% of 141 crore, which is the total population, is roughly 92 crore. That's why I was telling you 92 crores, roughly 92 crores. That is the working age population. So what is the working age population of India? Which means out of entire India, roughly 91, 92 crore people are eligible to work. So if you do total population of India 141, in the numerator if you take 91 or 92, whatever, you will get roughly 65%. But there is a problem. Look at newspaper report. The working age population in Indian age bracket 15 to 59 rose from 55% in 91 to 56 in 2001 to 60.7% in 2021. 60.7% in 2021. Now, currently it's this. So we are not bothered about 2021 because 2021 is nothing in between. What is 2021? Why? Because 2021 census did not happen. So nobody knows what happened in 2021 because even government did not calculate. Now you have this formula. So what are we going to do for exam? For exam, we will not take 2021 separately. What we will do is we'll say 1991, 2001, 2011 and 2024. And see what is written, 2011 60.7. And what is this saying? 2021 60.7. How is it possible? How is it possible that in 2001 same working age, 2021 same working, the population is not increasing? How is it possible? Which means that in the same newspaper article, these two things were published. I took it from the same article. This was the table given and this is the explanation given. It's from Economic Times. But mistake. So when you read these things from the newspaper and if you start to argue with somebody, "Nahi, but I read this." Yeah, that's wrong. It's wrong. And this is the right one. So hence, you can't trust everything that you read. You have to also apply your mind sometimes. Okay? So that's one. Okay? Please write in your data book. Today I won't give you big dictations. Today I'll give you data dictation. So please write data book. Trend related to employment, unemployment in your data book. Trend related to employment, unemployment. Yes, Harsh, you gave the right reason. Correct. Trend related to employment, unemployment. First, please write W. What is the first trend we did? Working age population. WAP. Working age population. WAP. Please write working age population. Working age population. Number one, please write. As per SBI, this is data entry. As per SBI, WAP is equal to working age population. WAP. Working age population. See, I'm talking about this. Working age population. WAP is equal to 65%. 65% in the bracket 2024. 65% 2024. This we'll write. Number two. Without wasting time, let us write this one. LFPR, labor force participation rate. LFPR, labor force participation rate. Please write. Draw this. You please draw this. This should go in your data book. Because in UPSC, if they ask you a question on labor force participation rate, you have to draw this graph. It's a very simple graph. The line is going up. And I suggest that in UPSC you only write two numbers, this and this. You can skip this number in UPSC. Why did I take this number? To compare what happened in almost this year compared to last year. That's why this. But in UPSC, just this and this should be fine. And where I wrote skip, you can skip this in UPSC. This part you can skip in UPSC. But in your data book, you will write it. And be assured that you are doing employment exactly the way UPSC questions are designed. You might not feel it today, but when you see UPSC questions in your real UPSC mains and prelims, and I hope that you see those questions next year, so you will see that almost the way you studied is similar to what UPSC is asking. Done? Awesome. Can you also please separate data related test, please? Okay, done, BD done. Your friend is saying that can you take a separate data related test? And who is laughing? Harsh is laughing. He is saying, Acha, you will test me on data. I breed data. Data related test. You want a data related test also. Amazing, very nice. So you guys are bold. So you wrote this, no? Let's write some trend for prelims without wasting time. Fatapat, please write in literature form some facts. Please write some facts related to LFPR. Some facts related to LFPR, labor force participation rate. Please write, bacho, quickly. Some facts related to LFPR. Point number A. Point number A. Currently, point number A. Currently, LFPR is around 60%. LFPR is around 60%. Number two, see, please learn this art. Whenever you write a term like LFPR, you should write it like this. And then here, you should write M for male. Okay? This will make your data book entry look very nice, very systematic. Male is greater than LFPR, and then you should write female. So LFPR male is greater than female. This is how you should write. So that's your second point. LFPR male is greater than female. Fine. Third, please write. Very important part. Third, please write. LFPR is showing, point number C, LFPR is showing a rising means increasing, rising long-term trend. Long-term trend. LTT, long-term trend. LFPR is showing a rising long-term trend. These three things have to be noted for the exam. Are you guys with me in this? That what are the points you have to extract from here? You don't have to extract any other point. These are the only points you have to extract. Some of you must be appearing in the state services also. For your state services, you have to memorize male and female percentage here, male and female percentage here, and for your state services, you also have to memorize this percentage of 2022-23. For state services, all these numbers have to be memorized. Does UPSC look easy than state services now? So focus on UPSC. Right? So in state service, all these numbers have to be crunched. So that's one. Second, please write WPR. Number two, WPR. What is WPR? Guys, what is WPR? Look at this. Work participation rate. Brilliant. Work participation rate. Now you see, work participation rate is equal to number of people who are employed upon total population. Please write. Work participation rate, very nice. To my online students, good answer. Work participation rate is equal to number of people employed upon total population. Now please draw this graph, guys. Exactly like this, but in UPSC, you only have to use this and this in the graph. This you can skip in UPSC again. So this is your data book entry. Data book entry. No, Harsh, you don't have to memorize the exact data. I'm making you write all this so that when we do answer writing in the class, I will tell you how to use this in the answer writing. You don't have to memorize the entire thing. If you memorize this also, this line, and just the first one, good enough. That's also good enough. 58.2 is good enough, which means everything you will see here is around 60. That's the jugaad. I'll tell you later on. First, no jugaad, first hard work. Then jugaad, hai na? First is always hard work. Done? Very nice. So, what is the work participation rate, guys? See, work participation rate in India, I have a graph for you. This employment generation, you see, Ministry of Labor and Employment, they have written few things, blah, blah, all these things. Now they have given some data. The data say work participation rate percentage. Look at the years, 17, 18, 22, 23, it's increasing. So what have I done? I have converted that using current data into this. So what are the trends that we are going to write? Please tell me the trend. I'm going to ask you a question. Number one, what is the long-term trend of work participation rate? Increasing. Number two, which is more, the female participation or male participation? Male participation is more. Can you please tell me that what is the increase in male and female participation? Jump in male participation is higher or jump in female? Female, it is clearly visible. So this point is also very crucial. So please write some facts related to WPR. Facts related to WPR. Number A. First we'll write long-term trend. Please write LTT. Now you know what is LTT. LTT of WPR, long-term trend of WPR is increasing. So we'll write like this. LTT of WPR is equal to, in future you use this please. LTT of WPR, you should write like this. Essay. Increasing means it is increasing. If you draw one arrow, not three arrows, it is for us, no, it is our bro code. If you use only one arrow, that means it is increasing but not very significantly. But if you draw 2, 3 arrows, that means it is increasing very nicely. From 46, it became 58. Yeah, good job. Right, so number 2, please write B. What will you write? WPR, work participation rate, male is greater than WPR, female. That's your second point. WPR male is greater than WPR female. Third point, please write. The rate of increase of WPR female. The rate of increase of WPR female is higher than WPR male. WPR male. In the recent times. Because we don't know what happened in last 20 years. So we will write in the recent times. That's very important. Recent times means generally 5 years. Recent times. And currently means 1 year. Recent times 5 years, currently means 1 year. Very, very long time period is 10 years. So that's your second one. Third, this is something which Government of India does not like. Right, so please write. Unemployment rate, and you please keep the male and female part open for now. We will have a separate discussion on this because the figures are controversial. Unemployment rate, which means number of people who are unemployed out of labor force. Out of labor force. So this is your next data book entry. Achha, by the way, now there should be one urge inside you. What should be the urge? Urge should be, the moment you see this formula, the child inside you should be awake and you should immediately write, Acha, let me experiment with this, and immediately you should open it up. And you should write unemployment upon, what is labor force? Labor force? But in terms of bigger formula? That's different. But in terms of bigger formula? Employed plus? Because numerator also IUE, denominator also. By default, UE is equal to IUE. So now, unemployment by employment plus unemployment. This is by default IUE. But if you have to be more precise, because you understood, no? You understood? You understood? To my online students, did you understand, guys? Cool. So since now you are my students, you will do it much better than others. What will you write? IUE. What you are saying actually. and then you will write E plus IUA. And then how can you play more with this so that it is there in your mind forever? Then you write is equal to CWS minus J. And then you will write CWS plus J plus CWS minus J. If you keep doing this, the benefit of this will be you will never forget this. Even in your dreams, you will be able to recall, Acha, I know CWS plus J minus J, all this. Brilliant, Sujita, you wrote it. Nice. So guys, see what your friend is doing. I have noticed something. Whenever I ask a question, some of you, I have seen online almost like 5-6 of you, you all the time give answers by typing it. You try to participate. Your participation is very active. Some of you speak also, I have seen. And I can see you speaking, your lip movement. That is also good. But try to participate because that is required for learning purpose. Huh? So did you draw this, guys? Something interesting. Did you notice something interesting? Unemployment rate 2022 same, 2023 same. I told you there is something very controversial here. Right? So unemployment rate, etc., etc. So this is what is there. Now the problem is that we have read definition which is like this. The definition says unemployment rate is number of unemployed by labor force. So which means that there are 3 terms here. Keep looking at the board, guys. There are 3 terms there. The first is unemployment, second is labor force, third is this. If you look carefully at the 3, you will see that the labor force itself in India has expanded because people who were, let's say, 14 years of age last year, they became 15 this year. So similarly, age is also, some people are moving into the elder category also, but more younger generation is being added. I told you, India is becoming younger day by day. Till 2040, we will become younger, which means this is expanding. This is also changing. Why? Because a lot of people are there in India who actually want to work, but their skill level is not good. So they are desperate to work, but they're not getting jobs. Many factories are not even opening. They're saying, no, this is not a good time. Global scenario is not good. I'm not able to export. So why will I produce? So some kind of negative atmosphere is there. So demographic dividend is there. Negative atmosphere is there. How is it possible technically that my unemployment rate will be same in 12 months? Technically, it is not possible. Yes, you can do some number crunching here and there and make believe that, unemployment rate is same. Because in 12 months time period, it is not possible practically that it will be 3.2. Somewhere something is wrong. So the moment, because you are smart kids, now you know everything is changing here. So how is it possible that, look at this place, how is it possible that this and this is same? You have this formula, which means that government is trying to say, this, either they are not changing or they are changing in such a way that the numerator by denominator is almost equal. Theoretically, it might be true. Practically, it doesn't look true. Which means somewhere, the definition of the concept that the government is using must have changed. Something has changed. So, is it possible that now the government of India is saying that even if you are working for less number of hours, let's say earlier government used to say that unless you work for 30 days in last 1 year, in 12 months, unless you work for 30 days, you are not called as employed. But maybe today the government is saying even if you work like for in 1 week, even if you are working for 1 hour in any particular, 1 hour only, 1 week, 1 hour. How many weeks are there in 1 year? 52 weeks. You're just working 52 hours and government says, okay, you are employed. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. Which means this number itself depends upon how the government measures unemployment or employment. Whether the government says that you are employed when you work for more number of days, or the government changes the definition, says no, even if you work for this number of days, you are employed. Which is definition might have changed or something is changing here, which is giving us this kind of result. Because ideally, the unemployment rate of India can't be true. Practically, it doesn't look true. Which means somewhere, the definition or the concept that the government is using must have changed. Something has changed. So, is it possible that now the government of India is saying that even if you are working for less number of hours, let's say earlier government used to say that unless you work for 30 days in last 1 year, in 12 months, unless you work for 30 days, you are not called as employed. But maybe today the government is saying even if you work like for in 1 week, even if you are working for 1 hour in any particular 1 hour only, 1 week, 1 hour. How many weeks are there in 1 year? 52 weeks. You're just working 52 hours and government says, "Ha, you are employed." Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. Which means this number itself depends upon how the government measures unemployment or employment. Whether the government says that you are employed when you work for more number of days, or the government changes the definition, says no, even if you work for this number of days, you are employed. Which is definition might have changed, or something is changing here, which is giving us this kind of result. Because ideally, the unemployment rate of India, according to other agencies, is rising. But government is saying, no, it's not rising, it's fixed. Which means government must have used some formula. So UPSC might ask you that formula and say, explain this method of measuring employment or unemployment. Because government is doing something here. Because see, look at the year 22, 23. And when was the question asked? That discuss the method of measuring unemployment or employment in India, 2023 UPSC. This year it was asked. And precisely because of this. Because everybody was saying, WTO, UN, all these agencies are saying, IMF is saying, boss, in India your unemployment is rising. India is saying, it's not rising, it's fixed. They said, fixed with formula. So India said, even if you work for 1 hour a week, we are called as employed. They said, wow, India. So if you can't change the outcome, change the definition. And then UPSC said, better tell us what is the definition of unemployment which the government is using. Which means there you have to discuss all the definitions that the government is using, and then you have to tell according to which definition is the government giving this figure. That's what you had to do. And then UPSC is very smart. What is the third part of the question? 3 questions were asked. First part, they said, what is the structural unemployment, 2023? Skill gap is called structural unemployment. Second part was, what is the method of measuring unemployment in India? So we have discussed the method, 3 methods, in fact 5 methods. And then you had to discuss in the question that what are the shortcomings in each method. This is the shortcoming. That the moment you change the method, you get different numbers and then you can't be compared. Because here I am using another method, here I am using another method, and I am comparing both the numbers. How is it possible? If your method has changed, how can you compare the numbers? And then you are saying, roughly it is same. That's absolutely wrong. You can't compare these two. How can it roughly be same? Because here method is method 1, here method is method 2, here method is method 3. They're different. So this is the controversy which is happening in India. They are saying you change your method and then you say roughly it is comparable. How is it comparable? So guys, to be able to understand this, you have to get away from politics and you have to understand the economics part of it. But then Government of India also gives a reason. Graph itself is wrong. Government of India also gives a reason. Government of India says, I don't have a census figure and I wanted to compare my figures with the United Nations figures, with the IMF figure, and IMF is using this, so we said, now we are changing and we are focusing more on a new formula. Hence we are using this. And then everybody said, what about these? This was calculated using old formula. Government says, yeah, we are updating. Currently we have updated this we are updating. That's also an answer, defense, which is correct. So it depends from what side you are looking. But if you are looking from a neutral side, then you will see that, okay, if government came up with a new number using a new formula, they should have released it by saying that we are also working on this and expected number for this is this. They should have written provisional number is this. We might change it in future. But where is the word provisional? Where is the word this calculation? Few things are happening which are very sort of technically challenging. To be able to understand this conceptual clarity is required, that what do you mean by these terms. Then I will also teach you how to measure employment, unemployment through different methods. Then we will get into the theory part. Theory part will be super easy. Because in the class I'll come with some pictures and I'll show you Zomato, Swiggy, we'll discuss gig workers and all. That will be super easy. There is nothing there. The real deal is this. So what did you write here? Kuch likha hai iske upar? Let's write, please write. That, write some facts about unemployment rate. Please write some facts about unemployment rate. Number 1, LTT, long-term trend. LTT, long-term trend of UR, unemployment rate, is equal to, long-term trend of unemployment rate is equal to declining. Declining. In fact, decline, you see, from 6 it became half. It's declining. Number 2, the UR, unemployment rate of 2022 is equal to UR of 2022 is equal to UR of 2023. 2023. Now, this I'm reserving for the next lecture. What you do is you write UR male and then you put a box and then you write UR female. We will see. And I'll tell you later on why this, why box, why blank. You are male, female, please put a box. Please put a blank. Let me see. So guys, now I want you to do this with us. Where is that part? This part. So I have created a list. This list, I would say that, did you draw the UR graph?
Yes, sir.
Did you draw it? UR graph, everybody? Cool. Now, I want you to do this list with me. This is very important. These are cool. These are one-liners, which you didn't do it. Why didn't you draw this UR graph? Do it, please. It's very simple. UR graph 6, 3.2, 3.2. Done. Cool. But we will do it as it comes. Now focus on the board, please. This part of the discussion which we are going to have in next 5 minutes, almost sure that UPSC gives a question from this. Almost sure. State services guaranteed, RBI guaranteed, UPSC almost guaranteed every second, third year, which is in a gap of 2 years. I have seen question coming from this. So this year there was no question. Last year there was no question from here in prelims. You can expect a question next year because these are something where government is interested. Instead of asking this in prelims last year, they asked it in mains. So now it is highly expected they'll pick something from here and they will say, chalo beta, let's do it in prelims. So the first thing, and since we are going to do a data book entry, so our discussion cannot be very lengthy. When I teach you the same things in the class from mains perspective, because we'll have more lectures on employment, there I'll give you a lengthy dictation. But in prelims, the dictation has to be crisp, the keywords have to be understood. So let's write the first one. Please write different types of, or simply write types of unemployment. Data book. In data book, today it's data book day. Types of unemployment. Right. Number 1, voluntary unemployment. And I'll tell you how to convert it into definition. Voluntary unemployment, right? Now, can you please tell me what should I write? You are my kids now, you know everything. So tell me voluntary unemployment in terms of C. Not W. Not searching. So, absolutely correct. This is called as voluntary unemployment. Can you convert it into literature for me? A simple literature? Absolutely correct. Simple literature. Who will convert it into literature? You convert it into literature. Simple literature. A person who is capable. Let me go it slowly for your friends. So your friend is saying that a person who is capable of working but is not willing to work is also not searching, not willing and not searching, and hence is not working. Is called as voluntary unemployment. So do you want to say the same thing in a different way? Or same? Can you repeat? What is voluntary unemployment? Repeat for me, please. A person who is capable, very nice, good Sujata, capable, unwilling, searching or not searching, and hence not working. Hence not getting because I'm not searching, so I'm not getting. Perfect. That's called as voluntary unemployment. So today I'm not going to give you the literature because I told you today is like a warm-up. because every time I have to give you a definition, the definition has to be very formal. So that we will write in our notebook, main notebook. So this year I told you that I have divided the study into two parts. One is data book, where we write shortcuts, the formulas, the symbols, and the main book where we write absolutely Manas correct. In the main book, we write the proper things. So in main notebook, we'll write it in the next lecture, not today. But today, we have to memorize everything, right? So yes, I'll give you a handout on this one as well. But most of the things will be either in the data book or most of the things will be in your notebook. So reason being that your preparation will become more systematic because you will have to refer to the handout little less and you have to refer to your data book and the class notes more. So it's very consolidated. So your handout will be less bulky, very crisp this time. Handout will be very light and your data book and notes will be your main thing, main content for this year. So based on the changing pattern of UPSC. And how did this come to me? This occurred to be precisely, I'll tell you the biggest motivation of this. Biggest motivation happened during my mains batch. So when I was doing the mains batch after prelims and when I was interacting a lot of students, I tell you this is honest confession. When I was interacting with them, the main problem I found in the mains batch was two, three things. Knowledge I didn't find was a problem. Knowledge was there. Precise knowledge was missing, which means precise terms, precise data, precise facts. You don't have to write over data, but at least some data, some facts, some reports. So that preciseness was missing. That's number one. For example, in structural unemployment, the precise word is skill gap. And what I was getting was if the person does not have, proper capability and skill, that's not correct. Capability is different, skill is different. I might be capable, but I'm not trained. So loose use of terms, that is what I found in the mains batch was one of the problems. That's why scores were a little less earlier. And number two, the problem I found was lack of writing practice. So, and that showed in the answers because the structure was missing. So then I thought that was the best way to do it. The best way to do it is in the class, you make notes in such a way that after 4 months when you sit to revise, like during your mains and prelims when you revise, you will see a structure that, we have done RCEP with an introduction, a background, proper points, and then we have done that, all the points covered using technicalities, wherever required map. So when you have that structure in front of you, answering in the exam becomes easy because brainstorming becomes easy. But imagine half of the things in handout, half of the things in class notes, etc., half of the thing in data book, confused. So what are we going to do this year? Data book is only supposed to give you data. It cannot substitute theory. The class notes are supposed to give you entire set of information for prelims and mains. And wherever I feel that cherry on the cake, which means something extra, which you might feel like using or you might not feel like, totally depends on you. Those kind of things are there in your handout. So handout is a substitute of a textbook. You don't have to buy a textbook. So if you need to read something extra or you have forgotten the theory completely, you can refer to handout, say, acha, this is the topic. Which means handout will be very crisp because it is like extra value addition. You use it, great. Even if you don't use it, you'll still get marks in the exam. So your main thing becomes your class notes. Data book becomes your help to improve your mains answer writing and qualifying prelims. And then your handout becomes your extra support. If you want to use it, use it. If you feel you don't have time, just glance through it. That's fine. This is the plan this year. So this is voluntary. You already wrote it. Don't write the definition currently. Just write this. CWS, is tarah se you write, please. Now, the second one, involuntary unemployment. Please help me. So, involuntary unemployment, who will answer? You will answer. Yes. Capability is there. To my online students, please write capability. Yes, Vaishali, correct. Vaishali, I got your answer by the way yesterday. So capability, involuntary. W is also there. Skill is also, search is also there. Job is not there. Absolutely correct. So can you define it in literature? A person who is capable, correct? Willing to work. No, searching you missed. Searching for a job, but not getting a job. Brilliant point. So that is called as involuntary unemployment. You wrote it, right? Now what is disguised unemployment? They are not contributing. Brilliant. You were saying something? Say it again.
So
culture, redefine it, please.
Sir, this guy is basically student form.
Okay, explain it, please.
Even a person who appears to be working and it remove the net contribution to the labor and output taxes.
Absolutely. That's also one of the ways of saying it. Rajan has said almost the same thing. Manu, you have said the same thing. Nice. Pawan, almost perfect. Somebody else wants to define this guys. You want to define it a certain different way using some more terms? Calculus, marginal, incremental. Calculus? No. Calculus? No. A sector which, Sujata, what have you written? Vaishali, perfect. Priyanka, perfect. You have said the same thing that your friend has said. Sucheta, you have written something. What have you written? A sector in which more people are working than required, extra number of people are disguised. Okay, same thing. I'll tell you, UPSC has asked this question twice. What has UPSC asked? See. Manas, what have you written? A person is working, if stops working. Absolutely correct. So, see this guys now. Now suppose that there are two workers in a factory who are working and they are manufacturing 10 pens. Two workers, very hard working. How many hours are they working? Let's say they are working for 7 hours. 7 hours they are working and they are manufacturing 10 pens. What they have suna bacho? Listen to it very carefully. There is something hidden. Textbooks don't write all this because I don't know why, but this is the most important part. So workers are working for 7 hours producing 10 pens. Now imagine that there is one extra demand in the market. People are saying, no, I need a third pen also. Same two workers, they are involved in the manufacturing of the pen. They bring a third worker also, thinking that might be required. This third worker comes and he starts to sing the song, play the music, and he says, I don't know, how to manufacture pen. First, I need to get training, etc. etc. Very casual. He's not contributing. He's just roaming around. There are some people who just roam around in the office. They don't do actual work, but they make sure that others do the work. So he's making sure by playing nice music, giving chocolates to everyone that you work hard, please. Work hard in silence. Let me make the noise. And they are the ones who become CEOs. So, nothing personal. So he is the one who is motivating you. Work hard, you can do it. But I will not do it. So what are these people doing? Two workers? Instead of working 7 hours, they work for 1 extra hour, 8 hours. Why? Because here, there was unused capacity. The full capacity was not used here. So capability was there, but it was not fully utilized. So now you have fully utilized your capability because you are capable of working for 8 hours. What did you do? Two workers only produce 1 extra pen. Which means now if you derive a formula, the formula becomes, look carefully, but your formula becomes that if you want to increase production, there are two ways of looking at it. If you want to increase production from 10 to 11 pens, which means plus 1 unit extra, your previous number of workers, which is 2 workers, are good enough. You don't need a third worker. This is one way of looking at it. Which means even if you add the third worker, your production is increasing, but he is not contributing. His contribution is negligible. He is contributing little bit, close to negligible. If you remove him also, no problem, because unutilized capacity was there. That's one way of looking at it. So if you increase the production by 1 unit and try to see what is the contribution by the new worker, it is close to 0 contribution. He's not contributing. But how will it happen? It happens under only one condition, that your previous workers earlier were not working at full capacity. Because if they were working at full capacity, these two cannot increase the production. It is not possible. So for this theory to hold, something has to be there in our mind as future bureaucrats, that if we are saying that the same workers are increasing the production without the help of the third one, that means these workers earlier were not working at their full capacity. Or something might have happened that these workers were working for 7 hours and producing 10 pens. Government of India comes here and trains them. Or this company comes and says, hey, no, in the 7 hours only you can manufacture 11 pens with better training, skill development. Which means again, initial capacity was little low. Skill gives you more capacity. Which means here, underutilization of capacity. Which means if your existing worker starts to utilize the capacity, you don't require a third worker. And if the third worker comes, this worker's contribution is negligible. And how do we mathematically say it's negligible? Marginal productivity of this labor, which means that whenever you produce one extra unit, that is called as marginal production. Marginal means one extra unit. So if you produce one extra unit, what is the contribution of this labor? Close to zero. This is one way of looking at disguised unemployment. What is another way of looking at disguised unemployment? Which you said. That's also one way. Let me write it also. So what is the other way of looking at disguised unemployment? For example, let's say that two workers are producing 10 pence. Fine. Now suppose that two workers are there plus one extra labor and still 10 pence. So what is this guy doing? Nothing. And what are these people doing? They are maintaining their own capacity, which we were doing earlier, 7 hours. And here also they are working for 10 hours. This guy also comes and works for 10 hours, but no new capacity. Which means this is called as disguised unemployment. Why? Because here, the marginal contribution of this guy, marginal means one extra unit has to be produced. But what is he doing when he came? No extra unit produced. So his marginal contribution, which means at the boundary, is he contributing anything? Marginal contribution, marginal productivity of labor is close to zero. He did not contribute anything. So there are two ways of discussing disguised unemployment. First, you write same number of items and then you prove that these workers were giving 10 pence and you write here extra worker added but no extra pen. So marginal productivity is close to zero, which means he's not helping. So that's one way. And the second way is, and you will have to draw both the ways. And the second way is that you mention two workers, 10 pence, and then you mention two labor plus one labor, 11 pence. But then you encircle it and you write here 7 hours, and here you write efficiency improves or 8 hours. Either they become more efficient and they start working hard in 7 hours only, or number of hours increases. Without this definition will not be complete. That's the technical part. So here also, the marginal productivity of extra labor is close. He's not contributing anything. This extra production has happened because of these people. So if in UPSC they ask you this question, what is disguised unemployment? And you end up writing just this or this, marks finished. That is one of the reasons I told you that in UPSC people top the exam with 50-55%. Because if everybody is taught only half the definition, everybody will beautify this definition only and will end up writing that. Now in that, suppose there is one person or there is a group of students who write this and this also and explains in one paragraph. Imagine your marks. You don't need to write these kind of answers in every question. In one question also you do something smart like this, you have created the impression, you are done. You are a 60%, close to 60% guy or girl. And for that you have to know these things. So guys, that's why I keep telling you that don't compare your notes with anything else. Don't compare your old notes, don't compare your textbooks, etc. Not available. And why am I including these things in the class this year? Because I felt that UPSC has become slightly more technical. Like last year I taught this part. Only this part. Last year I didn't feel the need to go here. But this year I realized that Niti Aayog has dedicated 5 pages in the economic survey on a concept called as labor productivity. That caught my attention. 5 pages on labor productivity. Why? Then I realized, they're talking about this. And then they wrote a line which caught my attention again. They said that in Indian companies, the capacity utilization or productivity is just 60%. Then I said, wow, wait. Which means Tatas are manufacturing steel. They are capable of manufacturing 100 kg steel, but on an average they are manufacturing 60 kg only, remaining part is unutilized. They are not using their factory properly, they are not using their worker properly. Either the demand is not there, or the workers don't have the skill set, or the factory is simply not interested. That is what Niti Aayog has written, that this is also one problem in India. People say you are not a big country in terms of manufacturing. Why we have the factories but somehow we are not utilizing it? Why? Either the skill is a problem, or demand of the product is not there, or third, the factory itself is not interested in improving efficiency. But why would a factory not be interested? That's the question. Are you creating black money? These are the questions that economic survey asked. that why is this happening in India? We need to improve this. Why would I deliberately reduce my performance in a cricket match? Have I fixed a match? Maybe. Yes. He's so innocent. Why do you go for match fixing? Right? You are catching all the wrong attention, sir. Match fixing, housewife, circus. You meet me after the class. So guys, we also have to do this thing, but this is a serious debate, he's right. We'll have to do that debate called as care economy, because India is aging. And there are many people in India, there are many startups. In fact, Tatas have just funded a startup in India. Young kids are there, like 5 young kids. Tatas have given them 100 crore rupees and told them, go and create a company which starts to provide care to the elder citizens. So Tatas have funded it. Imagine if you would have created that mobile app and you would have connected some healthcare professionals and said that in a particular locality, if there is somebody who's a senior citizen, I'll give them help. Doctors, ambulance, diet chart, exercise, all these things properly given to them. Imagine what Tatas would have done to you. Tatas would have given you 100 crore, 200 crore. Who's smiling and changing the career plan? Let me say. Some of you are smiling saying, "Acha, pehle nahi bata. Why didn't you tell this earlier? I would not have come here." Right? Don't change your career plan. You are the ones who will regulate that part. So if there is some company which is providing healthcare to elders, when you become an officer, you will have to make sure the quality of the healthcare is not questionable. Your job will be to monitor and become a regulator. So now come back, please. Please draw these two and write disguised unemployment. Draw these two, please. But in your data book only, you have to draw. Don't give full explanation. Full explanation later on, next lecture. First, please give the title disguised unemployment. And then you draw this entire thing. Sure. So I am the boss, and I got to know that. Rest of you, please keep drawing this. So I am the boss of a company which manufactures pen. So this company has 2 workers. You are the first worker, and your friend who is sitting next to you is the second worker. Now you guys are producing 10 pens by working 7 hours every day. I am the boss. I got a new demand of 1 extra pen. What will be the reaction of the boss? The boss will ask you that, do you want to work extra? Why will you say extra? I'm assuming that, hold on. I'm assuming that there are 2 workers already working, but a boss knows that the workers are giving their best. How would the boss know that whole time you are playing Instagram and Telegram only? So boss would know that you are working hard. So if there is demand of extra pen, don't think it in terms of pen. Imagine it's a big product like aircraft. So what will a boss do? Boss will say, chalo, let me hire 1 extra labor. And boss never asks the labor that I'm going to make appointment. Have you ever seen a boss calling all the employees of the company, 500 employees, and saying, hey, I'm going to appoint 1 extra engineer? Why would I ask you? I'm the boss. I'm Tata's. So I hired 1 extra worker. So now in the factory, how many workers are there? 3. And then I tell all the workers, you 2 and 1 extra worker, go and work. But the moment you 2 saw the worker, you said, if we use Facebook, Instagram, etc. and waste our time, sorry, you draw it. If we waste our time, then the boss will give more perks and incentives to the new worker, and boss will keep on hiring new and we will become irrelevant. All of a sudden you said, let me become more productive. And you work for 1 extra hour. Earlier you were only working for 7. The normal times in the office is 8 hours. And what were you doing in that 1 extra hour? Playing Facebook, Instagram. But now you said, no, I work for 8 hours and plus I'll give my best. So you 2 only after working produced 11 pens. And bichara, when the new person comes, he keeps on looking, where is the machine? Which department, which raw material? He keeps on searching, looking. It takes time to settle down. By that time, you already produce. Now the boss looks at CCTV and says, let me see who is working. And the boss says, wow, these 2 people earlier were working for 7 hours producing. The same 2 people are either working extra hours or they have become more efficient. Which means earlier you used to work like this. Now you are jumping. Which means that you are becoming more efficient. So boss will say 2 people good enough for me. This 3rd person is not required. Kick out. And then I will give the incentive to you. All fine. Good.
So if we take the example of agricultural farm, so there is a land and the productivity can be maximum, for example, 100 kg of rice. And for now, 4 people or family are working. And as the children grow up, they tend to
Absolutely.
3 more children.
And they don't contribute.
And the productivity is still the same. So
Absolutely. So which means that is also disguised unemployment because the others are not contributing, which means this is that example. More children have come, 2 were there, more children have come, output is same. है ना? So guys, I told you that today is data book entry. So we will minimize the literature part. We will write symbols, etc., and we will write very less literature because then book will become a notebook. That I don't want. But 1 line dictation is required. That 1 line. And when I conduct the normal lecture of employment, so then I will give you the proper dictation of India, different sectors, and everything. But please write it in the data book. Okay, please write that disguised unemployment implies. Yes, PV, correct. Disguised unemployment implies a situation where the contribution of a particular labor in the overall production is close to negligible. Full stop, please. So for data book, we will write this very generic definition. But when I give you the proper technical definition, I'll give you 2 different cases. What is marginal production? What is this, that, etc. It's a long dictation. But for today, we will write just a basic definition so that if you have to write in 1 line in the exam, or you have to say to somebody, let's say in your interview, then you can't, speak for 20 hours and 5 hours and half an hour. You can't just say this and it's okay. If they tell you, no, beta, give technical definition, then you tell them, sir, when you want to produce 1 extra unit, which means marginal, then you don't need that labor. Your own labor will do. And then capacity utilization, etc., dictation next time. Because we have to do it properly again. This is just basic. Okay, let's not waste time. Let's come back, guys, and let me tell you the next part. So please write frictional. Next one in the data book, frictional, transitional, job search. Yes, Rajan, of course. Frictional, transitional, and job search unemployment. I know that you are smart, you would have got that word. Frictional, transitional, or job search. Frictional, transitional, or job search. What is the meaning of this in CWS? Absolutely, KM, correct. CWS. In CWS terms, absolutely, Devanshu. So look at this. Frictional, transitional, or job search, which means I am in job A. I am working with Tatas. I want to get into Infosys. Job search. So in that period, when I'm trying to shift, do I have the capability? Of course, that's why I'm shifting. And number 2, am I willing to work? Yeah, of course, yes. Am I searching for the job? Yes. CWS is there. Do I have a job?
No.
If I had a job, I fit in the employed category. Why will you call me search? So which means that from here only you can crack it now. CWS. Remember this rule. CWSJ. That's your code. So capable, yes. Willing, yes. Searching, yes. Job, no. Because if I had the job, why are we going to write this definition then? Why will we call it a job search unemployment? Then you will call me employed. Very fact that you are calling me unemployed is because this last part is not there. So this is a very special category where, look carefully, bacho, where these things are there and the person is trying to take a jump from job 1 to job 2, but this period becomes slightly lengthy, significant. If it's just like 1 second, 2 seconds, I send an email, resign from company 1, go to company 2 in 1 second, there is no problem. The moment it strengthens, it increases that, oh, more time is required to search. I'm trying to contact Infosys. Infosys says, come next Monday. Oh, Monday, 1 week gone. Come next Tuesday, boss is not in town, gone. Thursday come. So I have the capacity, everything is there. Just that this shifting is taking little time. That's friction. Friction is taking time. So please write. C, yes. W, yes. S, searching, yes. Job, no. And then write that it exists when, yes, Manas, it exists when a person wants to shift from J1 to J2, job 1 to job 2, J1 to J2, job 1 to job 2. Is it fine? Cool? All good? Awesome. Structural. Up to you are super smart kids, you know structural. So guys, in structural, so it's hold on, we'll see. We'll do more qualifying things. So what is structural? What is the keyword here? Skill gap is capability is low, which means that don't say there is no capability. The capability is there, but it is low. In my world, I am Amitabh Bachchan. But when I go to somebody and tell them I am Amitabh Bachchan, they'll say, no, you're not. I have some capability, but that's not good enough. So in UPSC, you have to use this term, skill gap. And I have told you enough about this, that how to handle this. So capability, yes. I'm not saying 100% capability, low capability as your friend says. Gap doesn't mean it's zero. It means that it is required and you are here. Zero means this is required and you are nowhere. So yes, not up to. So capability, yes. W willing, yes. Search, yes. But job, no. Which means that in the previous definition, if you noticed, somebody wrote, in the previous definition, if you noticed, if we would have stopped here, C, W, S and J, if you would have stopped, फिर तो भाई this and this look same. Absolutely. So what did we do here? We did something smart. We wrote C, W, S. We wrote J not there, but then we wrote one line. We wrote that some person is trying to jump from here to here. That showed, okay, that's different. Because if you don't write that line, then everybody will look same. That's not correct. So that line is very important. That what is job search? Job search means capability, willingness, search, everything is there. You are trying to jump from one job to another. That's the meaning of job search. So that line is very important. Similarly, in this case, structural employment, C, W, S and J. If you stop here, there is a problem. Because the moment you stop here, then these two, this and this look same. This and this look same. So just like for this, you wrote job 1 to job 2. For this, as she was saying, and as all of you said, that here you have to write one line and you have to say low skill or gap or outdated skill. So instead of writing low skill, the better word is skill gap. Skill is not up to expectation. So please write C, yes, W, yes, S, yes, J, no. Then write a line that there is skill gap. Hence, capability is not optimal. Capability is not optimal. Capability is not optimal. Absolutely. L&T example. Correct. Absolutely. 20,000. Correct. Now next one is technological unemployment. You tell me guys. I have told you so much. You have to help me out. So please tell me what is happening here. CWS ke terms, so please tell me. High capability. Willingness. Why job is not there, kids? Technology has replaced labor. Here, nobody gives you a chance that better go and have more capability. People say, hospital, my name is Gangaram. And what did I do? You are a surgeon and you are doing cataract surgery on the patients. समझ रहे हो आप? Cataract surgery. I am replacing you. Now the robot from Japan will perform the surgery. I keep telling Gangaram that I am the best doctor in the world I am the best eye surgeon. Nobody is better than me. They tell me, yeah, good. Go and open a clinic somewhere. Thank you so much. The robot is replacing you. I'm telling I have a success rate of 100%. They tell me we don't care. Robot is replacing you. Gone. Which means it's not skill gap. Technology has completely substituted me. So for example, instead of going by the definitions that I teach you, if you read ChatGPT, what will happen? I'll be heartbroken. Right? And very soon I'll also join this list. That's interesting. But I hope that you don't replace me with ChatGPT. Because guys, imagine, chalo, let me take my example. If you replace me, why is she speaking? If you replace me with ChatGPT, I will become technologically unemployed. And then what will be the next best option for me? I'll become PM Swanidhi. So I'll become a street vendor. I won't leave you, Pesi. I'll start to sell newspapers then. Outside Wajiram, mind you. ChatGPT can't do that. So he's saying that good choice of job, sir. Because under PM Swanidhi, what can you do? You become a street vendor. Right? He's imagining me as a street vendor. So I can become a street vendor and I can go to Government of India and I can tell the government under street vendor, please give me three things. 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees. PM Swanidhi scheme under interest subvention, which means take low rate of interest from me. Collateral or collateral free? Collateral free. Who will give me the card of a street vendor? Which ministry? Municipality. But which ministry? Which ministry is looking after the scheme? Street vendors are in rural area, urban area. Which ministry? Ministry of Urban and Housing and Urban Affairs. Housing and Urban Affairs. Brilliant, brilliant. And since street vending is an urban phenomenon, that's why the card, the I card which is given to me, is given by the municipality. This is how the scheme is done. All fine? Cool. So, technological unemployment, you understood one of the examples. ChatGPT replacing everybody. So, इसमें लिख लीजिए please, right? C yes, W yes, S yes, S yes, and J no. And then write that technology replaces labor force. Technology replaces labor force. Achha, what happens in structural unemployment? One labor force, a more capable labor force will replace you. But in technological, this unemployment, technology will replace you, robots will replace you. That's the difference. Are you understanding this difference? Awesome. Next part, chronic unemployment. Iska to we can't do anything because this is very bad. If this happens in a society, that's really sad. See, what is chronic unemployment? Please write chronic unemployment. Just the keywords, chronic unemployment. So please write long-term unemployment due to poverty, lack of education, and population explosion. Population explosion. Please tell me in the form of CWSJ. You have to tell me. So I'm going to write CWSJ. What is chronic unemployment? Read it, please, guys. Capacity building. No hand holding, please. Capacity building, please. Capacity building, as in you have to think now. I have said enough. You think my online and offline students and tell me what do I write. What is chronic? Read it, please. Read it once. Harsh, absolutely correct. First.
Because everyone is capable.
Capability is low. It might be very low. It might be very low or it might be good. Because suppose that there is huge population, only one vacancy. So capability might be there. Or because of poverty, I could not train myself. That's why when you started to say low capability, he was objective. He was not liking it. He was saying, no. Understand my emotions also. Manas was also saying, understand my emotions. So capability can either be low or high, which means we will say it is there. Low or high, we will see. But first we are ticking it that yes, it might be there. Little bit capability is also capability. Willingness to work? Of course, yes. If there is no willingness, I am outside the job market. So yes, willingness is there. But I'm not getting the job. If you just write this, फिर तो it looks like structure. But I'm not getting the job. If you just write this, फिर तो it looks like structural unemployment, it looks like technological unemployment. So that's not correct, which means you have to write one more line. Everywhere you would see that when we are defining the things, first we are writing this generic thing, then we are writing one line to specify that it is different. What is so unique about this? Tell me that line. Long term. You stay in the unemployment pool for a very long term, but because of what reasons? Factory is not there. Socio-economic conditions. Unfavorable socio-economic, which means that if it is just about factories, see, India needs 10 factories are there. Population explodes. Is it economic condition now? No, it's not economic. Because 10 factories ka scope was there, we have 10 factories and we needed only 10 factories, but population explosion happened. Or let's say that what happened, epidemic happened. Something happened like COVID extends for a very long period of time. So what happens during COVID, people start to lose jobs. Factories are shut down. So now socio-economic. Which means that whenever there is adverse socio-economic condition, and because of that, people who are capable, willing and searching for job for a very long term, they are not able to get it and they stay unemployed for a very long time. And what is long time in economics? Anything which is more than 1 year, we call it as long time for this definition. So if you stay in the unemployment pool for more than 1 year, so you are called as long time employment. But very long time would mean more than 3 or 5 years. Long time more than 1 year, short time less than 1 year. So when